Chapter 555. If Lin Yin hadn't been standing in front of them, they would have thought that the girl who was performing was a racer who was scolding her apprentice. What was most unbelievable was that this didn't seem like an act at all. Or rather, it had happened before. You're right. Suddenly, Lin Yin, who had been silent for a while, added, every opponent in the first level of the international competition is too strong. You've only lost one race, so that's not scary. What's scary is the passion and fighting spirit coursing through your veins. If you have a desire, I hope that you will fight for your dreams in this competition. From today onwards, I hope that you will transform into a python in the first level of the international competition. Lin Yin fell silent once more. After a few seconds, she glanced at the corner and grinned. She raised her arms and said, "Welcome to this desolate and hellish arena. In my name, I will sweep away all the jackals and tigers. Perhaps one day you and I will enter an even crueler competition. We will reach the pinnacle and take revenge on our failures." Seconds after Lin Yan's performance ended, the entire place was silent. Everyone's eyes were on Lin Yan, as though they were waiting for her to continue. "Is that all?" The director of Legend couldn't help but ask after a long time. "Yeah, I said that it's over." Lin Yan grinned. "Sorry, I thought that you were referring to a line in the performance." The director snapped out of his daze. "Miss Lin Yan's performance is really unique. You have performed for the longest time." The producer glanced at his watch. "More than 5 minutes. Mr. Zhou Qiao, as Yeva's apprentice, why don't you comment on it?" The director glanced at Zhou Qiao. "Miss Lin Yan, did you perform Yeva and Lang Meng?" Zhou Qiao asked in surprise. Lin Yan nodded and replied, "Yeah." "Miss Lin, how did you come up with this idea?" asked Zhou Qiao curiously. "Based on what I know, when Mr. Lang Meng first competed in the first level of the international competition, he lost once. Actually, I was just imagining how nervous and uneasy he would be when he competed in the first level of the international competition. As Mr. Lang Meng's master, the racetrack's Grim Reaper, I imagined how she would treat her disciple back then. That was why I made this performance." "Yeah. My master did do something like that, but I don't think Madame Yeva is that fierce." Zhou Qiao chuckled softly. Lin Yin was speechless. However, Miss Lin's performance was really good. She even managed to deceive my senses and make me think that it was real. "That was amazing," Zhou Qiao praised her. "Thank you for the compliment," replied Lin Yin. There was no need to be polite. Just give her the role of Yeva. "Miss Lin Yin, even if you don't get the role of Yeva in the end, we can still give you the role of a female racer," Zhou Qiao said after some thought. Actually, Yeva's role had been confirmed a few days ago. It would be Lin Shuya, an A-list actress in the country. There wouldn't be any changes. Chapter 556. The sixth actress Wei Yutong had been right. No matter how one performed, they wouldn't be able to get the role of Yeva. After all, the role had already been confirmed a few days ago. The actress who would portray the racetrack's Grim Reaper was none other than Lin Shuya. However, Zhou Qiao and the others had been impressed by Lin Yan's performance. Hence, they had decided to let Lin Yan join the cast and play the role of a female racer. The other actresses cast envious glances at Lin Yan. Even if she hadn't gotten the role of Yeva, being able to join the cast and play a role in Legend was already a great achievement. For others, getting a role in Legend would bring their career to a whole new level. "Miss Lin Yan, what do you think?" The director of Legend grinned at Lin Yan. Lin Yan shook her head without hesitation and replied softly, "I'm sorry. I'm here today because of the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper. I'm not interested in the other characters in this movie." Everyone's expression changed when they heard Lin Yan, especially the actresses who had yet to audition. They stared at Lin Yan in disbelief. Had they heard her correctly? How could Lin Yan reject Zhou Qiao? She had even rejected the director and the producer of Legend. She had mentioned that her motive for coming here was obvious. She had no other intentions other than to play the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper. Was Lin Yan joking? She would only play the role of Yeva and not consider any other roles? Who had given her the courage to utter such arrogant words? "I will only play the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper." Zhou Qiao frowned when he heard Lin Yan. He had been in the country for so many days, but this was the first time he had encountered such a situation. He had never met an actress like Lin Yan. "Miss Lin Yan, are you sure you're not joking?" the producer asked. Lin Yan nodded and chuckled softly. "Yeah, I'm not joking. I only want the role of Yeva. I won't play any other role in the movie. I'm not interested in playing any other role." Zhou Qiao scrutinized Lin Yan curiously. To be honest, she had never seen an actress with such a personality in the past few days. Besides, Where did she get her confidence from? Why did she think that she was suitable and could play Yeva well? Although the racetrack's Grim Reaper didn't have many scenes in the movie, she was the most difficult character to portray. Furthermore, no matter how good the actors were, racing enthusiasts wouldn't necessarily be impressed by them. Miss Lin Yin, are you confident that you can portray the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper? Zhou Qiao asked Lin Yin. Lin Yin nodded slightly, her eyes brimming with confidence. Indeed, I am the only actress in the country who can portray the role of Yeva well. No other actress can compare to me. The director and producer exchanged a chuckle when they heard Lin Yin. Lin Yin had acted well earlier on, but to them this was an exaggeration. It sounded arrogant and conceited. I mean, sister-in-law, if you have the time, why don't you drink tea, watch dramas, or play games? Isn't that a waste of time? Lin Yin glanced at Pei Yutong. She couldn't be bothered to talk to him anymore. She rose and returned to her room. Chapter 558. Actually, when Lin Yin had gone to the audition today, she had never thought that she would land the role of Yeva. Everyone knew that the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper had been given to Lin Shuya. Not too long ago, Legend had also released an official statement. If there hadn't been any special circumstances, the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper would never have landed in the hands of anyone else. It would have been Lin Shuya. First of all, Lin Shuya's acting skills weren't bad. Besides, she had spent a huge sum of money to sponsor a top team in the country for her role as Yeva. She had even become an honorary member of the team. She had also learned a lot about racing. Besides, Lin Shuya was very famous in the country. She was beautiful and kind. Recently, the media had been hyping up Lin Shuya's good deeds. For example, she had been the founder of Angel's Shelter. Lin Shuya was the most suitable candidate to play the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper. There was no one else who could do it. Based on her analysis, it had never occurred to Lin Yin that she would get the role of Lin Shuya soon. Even so, Lin Yin didn't feel the slightest bit of emotion. She was determined to get the role, and no one could compete with her. Half an hour later, Lin Yin logged into her social media account, which she hadn't used in a long time. Her username was Yeva. Her profile picture was that of a female character known as the God of War. She had short hair and was dressed in black. The corners of her mouth were curled up, and there was an eye patch over her left eye. A huge sword hung at her waist. Thousands of messages bombarded her the moment she logged in. Butcher typed, "Master, second brother deliberately avoided my car during the first level. Master, you have to control him. Master, quickly expel this evil creature from the sect. Devilish child, Butcher. Master, that bastard second brother gave me the middle finger at the start of the first competition. Ah. Bear child Butcher, Master? Where are you? Why did you turn off your phone? In your name typed, Master, Master. Second brother deliberately avoided Butchers and my car during the race. In your name, Python. Master, second bro got first place again. He stepped on Butchers and my corpses to get there. That vile spawn, he even said that he would treat us to a meal, but in the end, he ran away halfway through. In your name, Python. Master, what's going on with you? Butcher said he couldn't get through to you for a long time, Master? Lin Yin scanned through the thousands of messages. Most of them had been sent by her disciples, while some were from the WZ team. There were even some who wanted to collaborate with her. Xiaoji, you there? Lin Yin was startled when she saw this name. She had already deleted his name. Why had he added it again? Moreover, he had already deleted it more than 10 times, right? Without hesitation, Lin Yin deleted Xiaoji's account from her contact list. After confirming that she had deleted it completely, she heaved a sigh of relief. Lin Yin clicked on the In My Name chat. Ha ha ha. After a few seconds. In My Name Python, holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Master, you have come back to life. Yeva, get lost. In My Name Python, Master, is that you? What happened? Your phone has been switched off, and you haven't replied to my messages. We are so worried. Chapter 559. Yeva replied, Bullsh asterisk T. You guys are so happy without me around. In My Name's Mang replied, Master, stop fooling around. Where are you? Tell me and I'll come and find you. Yeva replied, I'm busy overseas. I can't go back anytime soon. In My Name's Mang replied, Oh, when are you coming back, Master? Yeva replied, Let's talk about this later. I have something to ask you. Is there a movie called Legend that will be filming soon? Will you be in charge of the casting? In Your Name's Mang replied, Yeah, it seems like it. It's just a movie. I don't have time for this. I'll leave it to my disciple. Yeva replied, all right. Tell the production crew that I want to personally choose Yeva's role. Without my permission no one can portray Yeva. In your name, Python replied, oh? Master, no problem. I will inform Zhou Qiao. Actually, the producers of this movie had the same intention. They wanted you to personally choose the actress to play Yeva's role, but they couldn't contact you. Even we couldn't contact you, Master. Yeva replied, just get the person in charge of Legend to contact me through this account. Send all the audition videos to me through this account. In your names Mang typed, Master, I got it. However, Master, can you video call me? What if someone hacked your account? Before Lin Yan could reply, Lang Mang sent her a video call. Lin Yan picked up the call immediately. Master, is it really you? Lang Mang stared at Lin Yan in astonishment. It's me? Lin Yan replied helplessly. Lin Yan was watching Lang Mang, who was wearing his helmet and uniform. He was sitting in his car in a carefree manner. She asked, are you in the race? Lang Mang, who was fully armed, nodded. It's a friendly race. They are too slow, so I'm waiting for them at the finish line. So, I have to stop talking. They are catching up. Master, let's talk after this race. I have many things to ask you. Master, please don't go missing again. Lang Mang hung up hurriedly. If he hadn't been afraid that Lin Yan would scold him, he would have given up on the competition. Lin Yan was speechless. This fellow had actually replied to her during the competition. He had even video called her? Yeva replied, I have something to do. Don't forget what I told you. Contact the producers as soon as possible. I have to choose Yeva's role personally. Lin Yan sent a message to Lang Mang before she read the thousands of messages on her account. She had wanted to reply to them one by one, but she felt that it would be too much work. Thus, she logged out of her account. As soon as he logged out of the account, Zhao Hongling called him. Lin Yan, have you finished your audition? The audition ended a long time ago. Lin Yan grinned. What was the result? Zhao Hongling had no high hopes for Lin Yan at the audition. It's all right. Lin Yan didn't hide anything and told Zhao Hongling everything that had happened at the audition. What? Zhao Hongling sounded agitated when she heard Lin Yan. You rejected Legend's offer because you didn't want to act as a racer? Zhao Hongling had never imagined that Lin Yan would be able to join the production team. She had never imagined that Lin Yan would actually reject a role. Chapter 560. Zhao Hongling fell silent for some time before she asked, Lin Yan, if you could join the cast of Legend even if it's just a minor role, it would be a huge boon to your career. I want to know why you chose to turn down a role in Legend since you already had the chance to do so. Based on Zhao Hongling's understanding of Lin Yan, she didn't think that Lin Yan would do something like this for no reason. Hence, she needed to know Lin Yan's thoughts. Because I'm only interested in the role of Yeva. I might not be able to perform well in other roles. Lin Yan grinned. That's it? Zhao Hongling was taken aback and in disbelief when she heard Lin Yan's explanation. Lin Yan had rejected the offer because she wanted the role of Yeva. Hence, she wouldn't consider any other roles. Zhao Hongling was rendered speechless by Lin Yan's reason. Lin Yan, you should know that Lin Shuya already has the role of Yeva in her hands. There won't be any changes. Even if there isn't a suitable candidate for the role, it would be extremely difficult for you to get it, Zhao Hongling told Lin Yan solemnly. Although the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper hadn't appeared much in the movie, it was the soul of the movie. Given Lin Yan's current popularity and acting skills, she wouldn't be able to land the role with her own abilities. Hence, Zhao Hongling's intention was clear. She hoped that Lin Yan would get a role in the production crew. Even if it was a minor role, it would be enough. Sister Hong, don't worry. I know. I will join the production crew. Lin Yan chuckled softly. Don't worry. There will be plenty of opportunities in the future. Zhao Hongling comforted Lin Yan. Actually, Lin Yan could understand Zhao Hongling's thoughts and suggestions. If she had been in Zhao Hongling's shoes, she would have done the same. After hanging up, Lin Yan changed and hailed a cab to head to the He family's mansion. Lin Yan hadn't contacted old Zhao in advance, so when she arrived at the He family's house, she realized that there was no one there. Lin Yan called her grandfather and learned that her grandfather and Mo Shuyun were at the He family's training ground. Lin Yan had no choice but to leave the He family mansion and head to the training ground. She had just entered the training ground when she heard the sound of a car engine. Lin Yan spotted many unfamiliar faces at the training ground. They were all wearing the He family team's uniform. Mo Shuyun had mentioned that he had found a batch of fresh blood for the He family team. He had asked Lin Yan to drop by when she had the time. However, she had been busy lately, so she had postponed it until today. Lin Yin had just entered the training ground when she attracted the attention of many young boys. "Sigh. Lin Yin." A boy with a buzz cut pointed at Lin Yin and exclaimed in surprise. "Did you guys see meeting one's match? It's Lin Yin who impersonates Lin Pianruo. Why is Lin Yin here? What's so strange about that? Lin Yin is the old master's granddaughter. Her family owns the He family's car." "Hello, Miss Lin Yin." The young team members mustered their courage and strode over to Lin Yin. Chapter 561. "Are all of you new members of the He family team?" asked Lin Yin curiously. One of the young men hurriedly nodded and said, "Yes, Captain Mo Shuyun asked us to come here." "Welcome to the He family team." Lin Yin nodded. Before anyone could speak, Lin Yin pressed on. "Oh yeah, where is your captain?" One of the young men glanced at the training ground and replied, "Captain Mo is training. However, this round should be over soon." As soon as she finished speaking, a silver car stopped near her. The door opened and Mo Shuyun, who was wearing a pair of sunglasses, alighted from the car and removed his gloves. "Goddess, what a rare guest. What brings a busy person like you here today? Your presence brings light to our humble home." Mo Shuyun gazed at Lin Yin with a smile. Lin Yin was speechless. Mo Shuyun had only been with the He family team for a short period of time, yet he was already so well versed in the way he spoke. "I've been busy lately, so I haven't had the time," explained Lin Yin. "Goddess, I'm just joking with you." Mo Shuyun grinned. "Recently, I found some good racers to join the He family team." "I saw them." Lin Yin nodded. She had to admit that Mo Shuyun was indeed efficient. The old master, He Dinkuan, walked out of the hall. He Dinkuan looked much more energetic than before. He had cut his hair short and dyed his white hair black. "Xiaoyan, when did you arrive?" He Dinkuan eyed Lin Yin. "Grandfather, I just arrived," replied Lin Yin. He Dinkuan chuckled softly. "Xiaoyan, look at the He family team. What do you think?" Lin Yin surveyed the training ground and chuckled softly. "We've changed a lot and are full of vigor." The He family team was indeed more energetic than before. It looked more like a professional team now. In a week, the He family team will be participating in the first battle after the reorganization. Mo Shuyun gazed at Lin Yin solemnly. This was the first battle after the He family team's reorganization. If I lost, the He family team would never be able to make a comeback. First of all, funding was a huge problem. Even though Mo Shuyun had invested quite a lot in the He family team, it was still very limited. Everyone knew that racing was a money-burning business. Without a steady stream of sponsors, it would be impossible for a single person to run and maintain the race. Lin Yin was clearer than anyone else when it came to funding. The He family team in particular was just starting out after the reorganization. If the He family team wanted to be a team that could sustain itself, they had to keep winning competitions and raise their level. There was no other way. "Let's take a look at the ranking of the teams and the opponents we will be facing soon," Mo Shuyun said. Lin Yin nodded. Indeed, she needed to know more about the He family team and the other teams. "Stop what you're doing and come here." Soon, Mo Shuyun looked around and clapped his hands. "Captain, what's wrong?" "We were just about to get into the car to practice," one of the team members said. Chapter 562. A few seconds later, many young racers rushed out of the training ground and stood quietly by the side. "Sister. You're here?" Yun Xian glanced at Lin Yin and spoke softly. "Sister, when did you arrive?" He Lufeng asked curiously. "Don't speak." Mo Shuyun glanced at He Lufeng and Yun Xian. Both of them hurriedly stood still, not daring to utter a word. "Many of you have just joined the He family team, so I'm sure you aren't familiar with it yet." Mo Shuyun spoke after everyone quietened down. "The He family team used to be a beginner team, but we are now in the process of restructuring. It won't be long before the He family team's first battle will begin. This battle will determine our team's ranking. Remember this. I don't care how good you were before you joined the team or how good you are at bragging. If I'm not satisfied with your performance in the coming week, you will have to pack up and leave," Mo Shuyun said emotionlessly. The members of the He family team glanced at each other, unsure of what to do. They wouldn't be bothered by a beginner team, but the He family team was undergoing restructuring. They had to redefine their team's ranking. No one knew what kind of team they would be facing in this competition. "Also, we need to get to know this lady." Suddenly, Mo Shuyun turned to Lin Yin. "Isn't she Lin Yin, the actress who played Lin Pianruo in Meeting One's Match?" One of the team members exclaimed in surprise. "Yes." Mo Shuyun nodded. "Miss Lin Yin is the soul of our team. She is also the best racer in our team. She has defeated the entire team before." I heard that the competition was rigged, one of the team members muttered softly. Captain Mo, all of us joined the He family team because of you. Needless to say, we all know how capable you are. However, it doesn't seem meaningful to flatter Miss Lin like this. At this moment, one of the team members looked at Mo Shuyun and said with a smile, Miss Lin is an actress and her acting skills are very good. Moreover, she is the granddaughter of old Master Lin, so she knows a little about racing. That's not a big deal, but to say that Miss Lin beat the entire team. If you want me to believe it, I'll have to go against my conscience. Aha, that's right. Captain Mo, Miss Lin can be our cheerleader. Once we see Miss Lin, we'll immediately be full of energy. No matter how strong the enemy is, we'll be crushed by her. Sigh, Miss Lin is really beautiful. Miss Lin, you look even better in person than on TV. Miss Lin, I'm a loyal fan of yours. Captain Mo told me that you're a member of the He family team, so I came to join. Lin Yin was speechless. Lin Yin didn't know whether to laugh or cry as she listened to everyone's comments. Should she be happy or sad? Miss Lin, when the team ranking competition starts, you must come and cheer for us. The group of kids stared at Lin Yin with gleaming eyes. Mo Shuyun felt helpless. These people weren't listening to him at all. Forget it. Get lost and train. Mo Shuyun massaged his temples. Chapter 563. After the team members left, He Dinkuan, Lin Yin, and Mo Shuyun entered the lounge. Mo Shuyun retrieved a stack of documents and placed them on the table. He gazed at Lin Yin solemnly. The situation is more serious than I had expected. What's wrong? Lin Yin asked, looking puzzled. It's about the competition system. Mo Shuyun explained, in a week there will be a change in the country's rules. All the teams, regardless of whether they are top teams or third-tier teams, will have to be reclassified. In other words, if we're unlucky, we might not even be able to win the first race. How many races will there be? Asked Lin Yin. 3 races. Mo Shuyun frowned. You mean, the chances of us meeting the top teams? Lin Yin fell into deep thought. Very high, replied Mo Shuyun. Which teams are participating in the competition this year? Lin Yin asked after some thought. He Dinkuan flipped through the information and said, all the teams that are participating in the competition are teams that lost last year's competition. There are many top teams, led by K1 and WW. There are more than a dozen top teams, and there are more than 60 mid and junior teams. Based on this, the chances of us meeting the top teams aren't high. Lin Yin analyzed the situation. No. Mo Shuyun shook his head and peered at Lin Yin. In theory it isn't high. However, there are more than 60 teams. The number we got is 52. Lin Yin fell into deep thought as she listened to Mo Shuyun. There were more than 60 teams and the He family team had drawn 52. This meant that they had to wait for the other 51 teams to finish their races before they could compete. If the other 51 teams met the top teams, they wouldn't stand a chance of winning. They would be eliminated early on. If that was the case, the He family team's chances of meeting the top teams would increase tremendously. If they were unlucky, the He family team would be eliminated in the first race after the reorganization. If that happened, it would be a devastating blow to the He family team. You and I will compete that day, said Lin Yin. However, Mo Shuyun shook his head and said with a frown, the whole team has to go. The new rule of the competition is the relay race, and several runners will be randomly selected. If we don't get you or me, it wasn't that Mo Shuyun was pessimistic. It was just that such a situation was very likely to happen. Furthermore, if they were to meet a top team like K1, they wouldn't stand a chance of winning even if they got both of them. Mo Shuyun's expression was solemn as he said, this is too passive for us. With our strength, the consequences will be unimaginable if we end up with a top-tier team. Like K1? Asked Lin Yin. Yes, it will be the most brutal competition, Mo Shuyun said. It might be quite cruel. Lin Yin grinned at him. Don't be so pessimistic. The competition hasn't started yet. Chapter 564. Mo Shuyun's eyes darted to Lin Yin. He couldn't understand. He had already analyzed the situation to her. Logically speaking, Lin Yin should have a good idea of what to do. However, Mo Shuyun didn't detect a trace of unease in Lin Yan's eyes. It was as though the rules were the same to Lin Yin. Goddess, you might not be familiar with the new rules. Let me give you an example. It's like a martial arts competition. We're just a small sect, but we might have to face the leader of the martial arts competition. We might be killed with a single punch and there would be no way for us to make a comeback. Mo Shuyun glanced at Lin Yin. At first, we only needed to compete with other sects of the same level, In Mo Shuyun's opinion, Lin Yan was an actress, so she might not be familiar with the rules of the racing industry. However, he had given her an example. Yeah, I understand. Lin Yan contemplated it for a moment before she nodded. Before Mo Shuyun could respond, Lin Yan added, "It's pretty good." Mo Shuyun was speechless. She was saying that it was pretty good? Was she being serious? Think about it. Our team has just been reorganized and now we're in the middle of a grand competition. Who knows, we might become a top team. That would be great. Lin Yan grinned at him. The corners of Mo Shuyun's mouth twitched. He was at a loss for words. Even though Lin Yan was an excellent racer who had defeated a team like WW, she still couldn't do anything about it. In the country, WW wasn't the best team. There were other teams that could defeat them. If they met a team like K1, even if he and Lin Yan were to compete at the same time, they wouldn't stand a chance. That was the reality. Goddess, you're really optimistic. Mo Shuyun couldn't help but sigh. What else? Asked Lin Yan. Disband the team? Mo Shuyun was speechless. We don't have the ability to change the rules. Even if that's the case, we can only accept it. We can't be afraid before the battle begins. Lin Yan grinned. Besides, wasn't your goal the international competition? This is just a domestic competition. Why are you so afraid? I have to take my time to achieve my goal. How can I achieve it in one go? Mo Shuyun sounded awkward. When will the competition begin? Asked Lin Yan. About a week from now, but we still have to wait for the official notification, Mo Shuyun said. Old Master He Dinkuan and Mo Shuyun weren't optimistic about this competition. However, to Lin Yan everyone was equal. That made no difference to her. Indeed, all beings were equal. No matter who came, they wouldn't be any different from Lin Yan. This was the true meaning of equality. Lin Yan was only worried that she wouldn't be picked to compete. As for the so-called best team in the country, Lin Yan didn't care at all. 2 days later, Zhao Hongling called Lin Yan. Zhao Hongling's tone told Lin Yan that she had become the top trending topic. After she hung up, she clicked on the trending page. It was a short clip of Lin Yan's audition. It had to have been recorded by another actress. It hadn't been released by Legend's official website. The general meaning of the video was that no one in the country could play the role of Yeva except for Lin Yan. Some parts of the video had been taken out of context to make Lin Yan sound arrogant. Lin Yan felt a little helpless as she scrolled through the comments section. As expected, this was the first time in her career that she had been bombarded with comments. Chapter 565. Lin Yan fell into deep thought as she read the friendly comments. This time Lin Yan had been scolded badly. She had already been very polite about how shameless she was. Most of the insults were even more vicious. However, Lin Yan, who was used to such comments, didn't feel anything. Tourist 12342 typed, Lin Yan is too shameless. Is she the only one in the country who is qualified to play my idol? What a joke. What does she know? How dare she compete with Lin Shuya? Who does she think she is? I want a date. Hammer commented, Lin Yan has played her cards so badly. Initially, she had a chance to clear her name with meeting one's match. However, she said such things during the audition. A leopard can't change its spots. There's no way to save her. My mom hasn't hit me in 3 days. Actually, it's fine to say such things, but you have to be capable. Lin Shuya has done her homework and is a sponsor of a top racing team. I heard that Lin Shuya is undergoing devilish training. If she has a chance to compete with a racing team, what does Lin Yan have? Is she relying on hype? Yeva's only man typed, I heard that Lin Yan's grandfather has a team. Lin Yan used this connection to sneak into the He family team. In the end, the He family team is about to disband because of Lin Yan. They just reformed recently and will probably disband soon. Given her current situation, she would have to be crazy to act as Yeva. Lin Shuya's oversized towel typed, I'm speechless that my Shuya has such a sister. First, she wants to snatch Shuya's fiancé. Then she claims that Shuya's angel's shelter belongs to her. She either freeloads off her sister's popularity or tries to disgust her sister. She's so shameless. Lin Yan swiped her finger across the screen and flipped to the next page. The comments on the first page might be harsh, but they were still acceptable. However, the second page was filled with curses and insults. Lin Yan glanced at the number of shares. It hadn't been long, but it had almost reached 100,000. It's easy to be insulted. Lin Yan fell into deep thought. When meeting one's match had become popular, it hadn't exceeded this number. Soon Lin Yan's phone rang. It was Zhao Hongling. Zhao Hongling hadn't expected the speed at which the video had spread. Just this video alone was enough to ruin Lin Yan's career. Zhao Hongling wanted Lin Yan to sever all ties with the production crew of Legend. Furthermore, she couldn't say a word about this matter. She would wait and see if this matter could be resolved. Lin Yan had no choice but to go along with Zhao Hongling's wishes. After she hung up, she logged into her social media account. In your name, Python. Master, where are you? Why did you disappear again? Didn't you say that the video competition was over? In your name, Meng replied, Master, I've contacted the production crew of Legend. They are shocked that you would personally choose the actress. However, they said that Yeva's role has already been chosen. It's called Linya. We aren't familiar with the entertainment industry, so we don't know much about the actors in this country. I can't make a decision, so I told them that I will wait for my beautiful master to make the decision. Chapter 566. Butcher the Brat. Butcher typed, Master, why did you contact Lang Mang? Why didn't you contact me? Master, do you not love me anymore? Butcher typed, Master, hurry up and contact me. One more thing, it hasn't been peaceful here recently. There's a handsome and beautiful man who's been asking about you, Master. I feel that he's very dangerous. Even that man's subordinates are very powerful. Master, did you offend someone? Master, say something and I will drive my precious car over and kill him. Lin Yan felt a headache coming on as she read the messages. She had no choice but to read the messages from her disciples. However, Lin Yan's expression changed when she read the butcher's last words. Handsome and handsome? He was extremely dangerous. Lin Yan could only think of one person. Xiaoji, damn it. She had blacklisted him. How could he do something else? Lin Yan shuddered uncontrollably at the thought of that man. She shook her head and tossed the thought of Xiaoji out of her mind. Lin Yan sent a message to Butcher. Yeva typed, just say that you don't know where I am or that I'm dead. If you dare reveal any information about me, I will drive over and kill you. However, Butcher wasn't online right now, so he had missed the chance to interact with his master. After sending the message, Lin Yan glanced at her contacts. Indeed, the person in charge of Legend had added Yeva's account. Lin Yan accepted the friend request and received the message. Go 11 typed, Hi, I'm from the official production team of Legend. Yeva replied, Oh. Go 11 typed, Miss Yeva, it's an honor to be able to contact you. Mr. Lang Mang has told me everything. We have found the most suitable candidate for your role. We believe that you will be satisfied. Yeva typed, Send me all the information. I will make my own judgment. Go 11 typed, Okay. 10 seconds later, Lin Yan received a lot of information about Lin Shuya, including her audition video. Yeva typed, I will reply to you after I'm done. After Lin Yan sent the message, she didn't even glance at it. Instead, she scrolled through the comments section that had been bombarded with negative comments. I will be rich tomorrow replied, I support Lin Yan. She's the best. I won't accept any objections. In a matter of seconds, there were more than 10 comments under her account. You're Lin Yan's diehard fan? How dare you come out and cause trouble? My Yasuo doesn't have an E, this is a newly registered smurf. Could it be Lin Yan's alternate account? The corners of Lin Yan's mouth curled into a smile. That ID was so obvious, so it had to be her alternate account. Her real self was using it to cheer for herself. How infuriating. Lin Yan didn't reply. Instead, she logged into Yeva's account again. Yeva replied, Yeah, I've read the information. I don't think she's suitable. If it's convenient, we can replace her. Miss Yeva, are you saying that Lin Shuya isn't suitable and you want to replace her? The production crew was taken aback when they heard Lin Yan's news. How had they finished reading Lin Shuya's information in such a short time? Chapter 567. Yeva replied, Yeah, I don't know much about other actors, but she isn't suitable for the role. Go 11 replied, Miss Yeva, I think this actress is suitable for the role. You might not know her well, but she has acted in a racing movie before. Also, as she is a sponsor and a member of a top racing team in the country. I heard that she is extremely talented, and she will soon be accepted as an official member of the team. She will be competing with the racing team on the track. Lin Yan was taken aback when she read the message. Lin Shuya was talented and would soon be accepted as an official member of a top racing team in the country. She would be competing? Lin Yan smiled faintly. It seemed like Lin Shuya was really interested in racing. It wasn't just because of Yeva's role. Yeva replied, I still don't think she's suitable. I hope that I can choose her myself. The producers of Legend were hesitant. They hadn't expected Yeva to be so serious. Although they were the official producers of Legend of Mir, if Yeva didn't agree to it, it would be troublesome for her to play the role of Yeva. It would affect the progress of the entire movie. Yeva replied, "Send me the information and videos of all the actresses who have auditioned for Yeva's role. I will see if I can find a suitable one." Go 11 replied, "Miss Yeva, alright then. Miss Yeva, where are you now? Do you have a chance to talk to me?" Yeva replied, "Sorry, I'm very busy. I don't have time." Soon, Lin Yin received the information of hundreds of actresses from the country. Lin Yin had nothing to do in the past 2 days. She had been waiting for her audition video. During this time, Lin Yan's audition video had been leaked, and it had become a hot topic. Yesterday, Lin Shuya had been invited to an interview because she was going to be cast as Yeva in Legend. One of the reporters had mentioned Lin Yan's audition video. Lin Shuya had responded to the reporter's question with a pained expression. If her sister wanted the role, she would give it to Lin Yan. Lin Shuya's comments had also become a hot topic, which was a stark contrast to Lin Yan's. Tourist 432 had typed, "Lin Shuya is too kind. How could she be willing to give the role to someone like Lin Yan? Look at the younger sister and then look at her older sister." Sealhead Ling Chong replied, "Do you think you can just let Lin Shuya do as she pleases? The producers of Legend aren't fools. They won't agree to it. Even if they agree, will Yeva's huge fan base agree?" Lin Shuya was a kind and beautiful woman, while Lin Yan was the epitome of evil. Almost everyone was boycotting Lin Yan, and slogans like "Get out of the entertainment industry" were everywhere. Naturally, Lin Yan had read Lin Shuya's comments online. However, she knew exactly what Lin Shuya was thinking. Lin Shuya was merely trying to portray herself as kind and beautiful. At the same time, she was trying to make Lin Yan look even more vicious. It was impossible for her to give up her role, but if she did, the netizens would hate Lin Yan even more. Lin Yan wasn't interested in Lin Shuya's reaction. Lin Yan was watching a video that Legend of Mir had sent her. The content of the video was his audition a while ago. Chapter 568. 10 seconds later, Go 11 typed, "Miss Yeva, this actress has many scandals in the country. Recently, almost everyone has been boycotting her. If she were to play the role," Yeva replied, "this has nothing to do with me. I just want to know if she is suitable and capable. You can decide for yourself." After Lin Yan sent the message, the production team fell silent. They must have gone to discuss the matter. Although the production team was reluctant, they knew that if Yeva insisted and refused to let another actress play the role, it would be troublesome. Besides, the country was only one of the markets for Legend. Go 11 sent another message in the evening. "Miss Yeva, we have discussed and decided to respect your decision." Yeva typed, "Good luck." 2 days later, the production team announced that Yeva's role had been finalized. At the same time, Lin Yan received a call from Lang Mang's apprentice, Zhou Qiao. Lin Yan naturally knew why Zhou Qiao had called. Lin Yan headed to the production team at the appointed time. "Miss Lin Yan, we meet again." Zhou Qiao rose from his chair and greeted Lin Yan with a smile. "Hello, Mr. Zhou Qiao." Lin Yan nodded with a smile. "Miss Lin Yan, this is the director." Zhou Qiao gestured to a bespectacled, white-haired man. "Hello, Miss Lin. My Chinese name is Gao Fushuai." The director smiled at Lin Yan. Lin Yan was speechless. Who had given him that name? "Hello, director," Lin Yan replied. "Miss Lin Yan, we were very satisfied with your performance at the audition. We think that Yeva's role is suitable for you." Zhou Qiao glanced at Lin Yan. "Oh, really? That's great. It was unexpected." Lin Yan nodded eagerly. "Miss Lin Yan, Lin Shuya is your sister, right?" Zhou Qiao asked. "What's wrong?" Lin Yan was puzzled. "Oh, nothing. We wanted to give the role to Lin Shuya, but we thought that Miss Lin Yan was more suitable." Zhou Qiao grinned. "Is that so?" Lin Yan glanced at Zhou Qiao. "Then wouldn't I be stealing someone else's role?" The director scrambled forward. No. Miss Lin Yan, this has nothing to do with you. We just don't think that Miss Lin Shuya is more suitable than you for the role." Lin Yan wasn't snatching the role. Lang Mang and even Yeva were competing for it. They could only blame Lin Shuya for not meeting Yeva's standards. There was nothing they could do about it. Zhou Qiao smiled. "Fortunately, we didn't sign a contract with Miss Lin. If you don't have any problems, we can confirm the roles first." "Are you sure you want me to act?" Lin Yan glanced at the director and the others. "Yes, I'm very sure." The director nodded quickly. He wanted to use Lin Shuya, but Yeva wouldn't allow it. "Does Lin Shuya know about this?" asked Lin Yan. "We haven't had time to inform Miss Lin Shuya. Besides, we only had a verbal agreement with her. We didn't have to inform her or explain anything." The producer grinned at Lin Yan. "All right then." Chapter 569. After signing the contract, Lin Yin returned to Cloud Manor. She lay on the couch and scrolled through her phone. At the moment, she was still the most popular celebrity online. The slander and criticism against her had never stopped. However, Lin Yin didn't care about the criticism online. She was used to it. She would feel uncomfortable if no one slandered her. "Sister-in-law, are you there?" Pei Yutong's voice was heard outside. "Yes, the door isn't locked," replied Lin Yin. The door swung open and Pei Yutong walked in. "Sister-in-law, we're doomed. We're doomed." Pei Yutong stared at Lin Yin with a long face. "What's wrong?" Lin Yin was puzzled by Pei Yutong's expression. "Sister-in-law, something bad has happened. I'm dead meat." Pei Yutong sighed heavily. "Speak." Lin Yin glanced at Pei Yutong impatiently. Who had this kid learn this from? "Sister-in-law, don't you know that it's about the racing rules?" Pei Yutong blurted out anxiously. "Racing rules?" Lin Yin frowned. She had no idea what Pei Yutong was talking about. "Yeah." Pei Yutong nodded fervently. "That's right. Many teams in the country are going to be reclassified. My team was originally a beginner team, but they are going to be reclassified this time. If we don't handle it well, we might encounter the top teams. What should we do?" "That's it?" Lin Yin glanced at Pei Yutong in confusion. "Yeah." Pei Yutong nodded furiously. Lin Yin was speechless. She had thought that something big had happened when she had heard Pei Yutong's tone and expression. Lin Yin glanced at Pei Yutong and said earnestly, "It's okay." "It's okay?" Pei Yutong scratched his head. "Why not?" Lin Yin glanced at Pei Yutong. "Because it's your team, not mine. What's wrong with it?" Pei Yutong stared at Lin Yin in confusion. The corners of his mouth twitched. "Sister-in-law, Daddy. You can't just stand by and watch. My team can't continue to lose like this. Your team has been losing anyway. It doesn't matter if you lose a few more races. Aren't you and your team used to it?" Lin Yin grinned at him. Sister-in-law, you're right. No, it's different now." Pei Yutong hurriedly shook his head. "Sister-in-law, you have no idea. I spent a lot of money to hire an amazing racer. I wanted to win a few races and raise the level of the team. Who knew that the competition system would suddenly change? It's a ranking system." Pei Yutong glanced at Lin Yin helplessly. "Daddy, there are many top teams and top teams in this competition. If I lose again, I will disband." Lin Yin was aware of the rules of the competition. However, Pei Yutong didn't have to worry about it. He was rich, so why would he disband the team? "You don't need sponsors or investors." Lin Yin glared at Pei Yutong. Pei Yutong shook his head furiously. "Sister-in-law, I need it. I don't have much money to begin with. Besides, I spent a lot of money to hire a racer. I don't have much money." Lin Yin glanced at Pei Yutong in confusion. "Don't tell me you want me to invest in you?" Chapter 570. Anything can be discussed, but investment is out of the question. Lin Yin interrupted Pei Yutong hastily. Asking for her money would be akin to asking for her life. Most importantly, she didn't have any money. Hee. Pei Yutong grinned at Lin Yin. "Daddy, listen to yourself. I don't need you to invest. I just need you to plead with my brother to stop restricting my finances. If that's the case, it doesn't matter even if I lose." Lin Yin shook her head frantically. "If you want to die, do it yourself. Don't drag me down with you." Pei Yuqing's attitude was very clear. He had restricted Pei Yutong's finances because he didn't want him to mess with his team. If she got involved, Pei Yuqing might find out that she was in cahoots with Pei Yutong. "Daddy, don't leave me in the lurch." Pei Yutong cried hastily. "I'm not leaving you in the lurch. I'm buying one getting one free." Lin Yin sounded helpless. "What do you mean by buying one getting one free?" Pei Yutong was puzzled. "You're digging your own grave and dragging me down with you. Isn't this buying one free?" Lin Yin quipped. Pei Yutong was speechless. Pei Yutong pondered this for a moment before he raised his head and gazed at Lin Yin. "Daddy, actually, I have a good idea. Daddy, come to my team and help me get through this." Lin Yin was speechless. "Let her off, I don't have time." Lin Yin shook her head. "Daddy, you're so cruel and heartless." Pei Yutong gazed at Lin Yin aggrieved. Pei Yutong had come up with several plans, but he hadn't expected that none of them would work. Was his team really going to be disbanded? "What's the number your team has drawn?" Lin Yin asked Pei Yutong. "I think it's number 4, replied Pei Yutong. "Then what are you afraid of?" Lin Yin glanced at Pei Yutong. "The chances of your team meeting a high-level team are slim." Pei Yutong's team had to compete in several competitions. Pei Yutong's team had drawn a number near the front, so they were most likely to meet some beginner and intermediate teams. There weren't many high-level and top-notch teams. Even if they met one, it would be good enough. That's true. Pei Yutong nodded eagerly after hearing Lin Yan's analysis. Lin Yan was speechless. What was this kid worried about? She hadn't had many scenes with the production crew. She would only appear at the end of the filming. Hence, she had plenty of time to attend the He family team's competition. Daddy, the He family team will be participating in the competition too, right? Pei Yutong glanced at Lin Yan thoughtfully. Lin Yan had nothing to hide. Given the He family team's current situation, it wouldn't be a problem for them to participate in the competition. Pei Yutong rubbed his hands together in anticipation when he found out that the He family team would be participating. If only my team could compete with the He family team. This way I'll definitely win. Lin Yan replied solemnly, good luck. In the past few days, Lin Yan had been keeping an eye on the competition and the popularity of her audition video. Compared to a few days ago, the popularity of the audition video had increased by quite a bit. Apart from netizens, many media outlets had also started to create topics of discussion. The theme was very clear. It was nothing more than to defame and earn traffic by relying on human blood. Chapter 571. Lin Yan browsed through several articles on social media. One of them accused her of being an ingrate who had been brought into the entertainment industry by her sister, Lin Shuya. However, she couldn't stand the fact that her sister was more famous than her. First, she had snatched her sister's fiancé. Then she had stolen her sister's charity Angel's home, and now she had snatched Lin Shuya's role. Netizens would easily agree with such accusations. Any article that slandered Lin Yan would be forwarded at least 10,000 times. However, Lin Yan was already used to seeing these people's blood. At noon, Lin Yan tossed her phone aside and went to wash up. Then she called Zhao Hongling and told her to meet her at a nearby cafe. Zhao Hongling had no idea that Lin Yan had gotten the role of Yeva, so Lin Yan didn't reveal it. She merely told Zhao Hongling to meet her at the cafe. Zhao Hongling glanced at Lin Yan in confusion. Did you call me here in such a hurry because of the news about you? Lin Yan shook her head and grinned. Sister Ling, am I that weak? I'm used to it. Zhao Hongling was speechless. In hindsight, Lin Yan had been slandered ever since she had entered the entertainment industry. Sister Ling, accompany me to Legend, said Lin Yan. Legend of Mir too? Zhao Hongling was surprised. Why are you going there? Zhao Hongling knew that the production team was holding a press conference today to discuss Yeva's role and other details of the movie. I'm going to join the production team, replied Lin Yan bluntly. Zhao Hongling frowned when she heard Lin Yan. A few days ago, Lin Yan had told her that the production team wanted her to play the role of a professional racer. Zhao Hongling had been in favor of it. However, the rumors about Lin Yan were too intense, so she wasn't sure if it would be a good or bad thing for her to get involved with the production team. However, since Lin Yan had already said so, Zhao Hongling couldn't say anything else. After spending some time with Lin Yan, she could tell that Lin Yan was a mature and strong-minded person. Hence, she trusted her decision. Why didn't you discuss this with me? I wasn't prepared at all. Zhao Hongling glanced at Lin Yan helplessly. You didn't need to prepare anything. That's good enough. Lin Yan grinned at Zhao Hongling. Zhao Hongling sighed heavily. She really didn't know what to do with Lin Yan. Zhao Hongling led Lin Yan to the address Lin Yan had given her. At a large clubhouse. Legend's press conference would be held there. Zhao Hongling parked the car and followed Lin Yan outside the club. Now, the surrounding area had long been surrounded so tightly that not even a drop of water could trickle through. Reporters were everywhere. The number of media that were invited and qualified to enter the venue for interviews was very limited, and most of the media reporters could only wait outside. Lin Shuya. Suddenly, an exclamation came from the crowd. Immediately, everyone looked forward. The girl was wearing a red floral dress. Her hair was slightly coiled up, and there was a faint smile on her face. She looked sweet and lovely, and her temperament was excellent. Miss Shuya, are you here to attend the press conference? As soon as they saw Lin Shuya, the reporters swarmed over like a tidal wave. Yeah. The smile on Lin Shuya's face didn't fade as she smiled at the reporters. Miss Shuya, you look so beautiful today. You look so classy. Thank you. Lin Shuya smiled elegantly. Chapter 572. Miss Shuya, everyone knows that you got the role of Yeva in the movie Legend of Mir. I heard that because of this role, you have sponsored a top team in the country and become an honorary member. Is this true? Lin Yan nodded and replied softly, yes, it's true. However, I didn't do it because I wanted to play the role of Yeva. If it's not because of Yeva's role, what is it? Miss Shuya, can you tell me? I think racing is cool and charming. Besides, I've been interested in racing since I was young. This time I'm fulfilling my dream. Lin Shuya grinned. Miss Shuya, besides being an actress, your sister Lin Yan is also a racer. She is currently working as an ordinary member of your grandfather's team. What do you think of Lin Yan's racing skills? How does she compare to you? Lin Shuya's eyes gleamed with disdain at the mention of Lin Yan. However, she maintained a faint smile and replied, since sister is a racer, I'm sure she is capable. One of the reporters chuckled. Miss Shuya, you're being too polite. If Lin Yan was really a racer, the He family team wouldn't have had to reorganize and face the threat of disbanding. This time, the competition will be a nightmare for the He family team. I believe that it won't be long before they disband. Miss Shuya, will you consider helping the He family team overcome this crisis? Lin Shuya fell silent for some time before she replied, the He family team belongs to my grandfather. If there is a need, I will help them overcome this crisis. However, I'm currently a member of the ZF team. I can't compete as a member of the He family team. This might be a little difficult. If it weren't for Miss Lin Yan, I believe that Miss Shuya wouldn't be in such a difficult position. Indeed. Miss Shuya, you were the one who brought Lin Yan into the entertainment industry. You gave her all the best resources, but who would have thought? Lin Shuya shook her head. Sister must have her own difficulties. Miss Shuya, perhaps kinship is important to you and you value it a lot. However, some people aren't worth it. You should have seen the video of Lin Yan's audition with the crew of Legend, right? During the audition, Lin Yan claimed that she was the only one qualified to play the role of Yeva. Doesn't she know that the production crew has already given the role to Miss Shuya? How could she say such things? Lin Shuya sighed helplessly. I've asked the director, but he said that I'm the most suitable person for the role. Even if I wanted to give it to sister, the production team wouldn't agree. Miss Shuya, you mustn't harbor such thoughts. Besides, Lin Yan's acting skills allow her to play the role of Lin Pianruo. However, not everyone can play Yeva. It seems like we came at the wrong time, Zhao Hongling said as she looked at Lin Shuya, who was surrounded by reporters. Chapter 573. Lin Yan hadn't expected that Lin Shuya would attend the event. Logically speaking, the production team would have informed Lin Shuya beforehand. However, Lin Yan wasn't sure how the production team would handle the matter. She had no right to ask. It didn't matter anymore. She had already signed a contract with the production crew for the role of Yeva. There was no way she could change it. Before long, Lin Shuya nodded at the reporters and entered the venue. Sister Ling, let's go in. Lin Yan glanced at Zhao Hongling. Zhao Hongling pondered this for a moment before she glanced at Lin Yan. We can wait. There are too many reporters around. Lin Yan grinned at Zhao Hongling. Sister Ling, don't worry. The reporters won't leave until it's over. Naturally, Lin Yan understood what Zhao Hongling meant. Zhao Hongling was afraid that the reporters would ask her questions that would be difficult to answer. However, Lin Yan couldn't care less. Be it during her racing career or her current career in the entertainment industry, she had never considered the possibility of being popular with reporters or the public. Alright, follow behind me. Try not to answer the reporters' questions. Zhao Hongling glanced at Lin Yan as she spoke softly. Okay. Lin Yan nodded repeatedly. Then Lin Yan and Zhao Hongling walked toward the club. As they neared the club, the reporters spotted Lin Yan and Zhao Hongling from afar. Lin Yan? Someone shouted. Almost instantly, all the reporters turned to look at Lin Yan. In no time at all, Lin Yan and Zhao Hongling were surrounded by reporters. Seeing this, Zhao Hongling sighed helplessly. She knew it would be like this. Lin Yan was so black that she looked like she was about to turn purple. How could the reporters let her go? Miss Lin Yan, may I know why you are here? Are you going to the clubhouse in front? A reporter asked Lin Yan hastily. Why can't I be here? Lin Yan glanced at the reporter, puzzled. Miss Lin Yan, I don't think you got a role in Legend. Or did you get invited by the production team? I'm here to eat. Lin Yan grinned. Many reporters' expressions turned strange when they heard Lin Yan. She was here for a meal? However, no one would believe her. Miss Lin Yan, when you auditioned for the role of Yeva, you claimed that you were the only one qualified to play the role. Miss Lin Yan, why did you say that? Do you need to explain yourself? I'm afraid Miss Lin Yan won't be able to explain. After all, the video is real. Lin Yan rubbed her chin and pondered for a moment. Then she chuckled softly. I do need to explain myself. During the audition, I said that no one in the country was qualified to play Yeva. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Many reporters sneered coldly at Lin Yan. Now she knew what to say and what not to say. Lin Yan grinned and added, "Not only is there no one in the country who is qualified to portray Yeva, but there is no one else in the world who is more suitable than me for this role." Chapter 574. Even Zhao Hongling, who was standing next to Lin Yan, was flabbergasted. She hadn't expected Lin Yan to say something like that. She had claimed that no one in the country was more suitable than her. Now she had claimed that the entire world was different. One of the female reporters eyed Lin Yan coldly. "Miss Lin Yan, you don't have the ability to get the role, yet you claim that no one is more suitable than you. Don't you think that's ridiculous?" "Miss Lin Yan, everyone knows that Miss Lin Shuya is Yeva's character. You know that, yet you said that. Aren't you trying to pick on Miss Lin Shuya? What you're trying to say is that Miss Lin Shuya isn't qualified to play Yeva, but she is your sister. She was the one who brought you into the entertainment industry and gave you the best opportunity." Before Lin Yan could speak, Zhao Hongling, who was standing next to her, suddenly stepped forward with a cold expression on her face. She scanned the reporters and said calmly, "Everyone, Lin Yan said that she was more suitable for the role of Yeva. When did she mention Miss Lin Shuya? How can you take her words out of context and make irresponsible remarks based on your own imagination?" No one knew better than Zhao Hongling how Lin Shuya had plotted against her when she had been by her side. Although Lin Yan didn't say it out loud, everyone knows what she meant. The reporter sneered coldly. Lin Yan grinned and replied, "I indeed think that I'm more suitable to play Yeva. I'm not targeting anyone." "You think that you're more suitable for Yeva? Miss Lin Yan, do you think that your acting is better than Miss Lin Shuya's? Or do you know more about racing than Miss Lin Shuya?" Lin Yan shrugged and replied, "Of course I think that I'm the best in the world. Would you deny yourself?" Lin Yan's words rendered the reporter speechless. Of course, there was nothing wrong with her thinking that she was the best in the world. Everyone had the right to think that they were the best in the world. That included Lin Yan. "Everyone, can you please step aside?" Zhao Hongling stood in front of Lin Yan. "Miss Lin Yan, as an outsider, I would like to give you a piece of advice. You won't be able to get the role, so in the future, please speak according to your capabilities. Don't speak without thinking." A female reporter glared at Lin Yan with disgust. Lin Yan didn't flare up. Instead, she grinned and replied, "You're right. I've always been speaking according to my capabilities." Lin Yan trailed behind Zhao Hongling as they entered the hall. The venue was packed with people. Most of them were media reporters who had received invitations. There were also some officials from Legend who were in charge of maintaining order. The main actors were already seated on the stage. Lin Shuya was among them. Legend was already in the midst of filming, and the first half of the movie had been completed. All that was left was Yeva's plot. As they hadn't found a suitable actor, they hadn't been able to film the final scenes. This press conference was mainly to announce Yeva's role, as well as some new actors from the country. Lin Yan and Zhao Hongling's appearance silenced all the reporters. All eyes were on Lin Yan. Chapter 575. Is that Lin Yan? That's weird. Why is Lin Yan here? I don't think she has been offered a role in Legend. I heard that during Lin Yan's audition, the producers wanted to give her a racer role because they knew that she was Lin Shuya's sister. However, Lin Yan rejected them. She even said that she was the only actress in the country who was qualified to play Yeva. She didn't want any other roles. Many people turned to look at Lin Yan strangely. No way. That's disgusting. She doesn't have any acting skills, and the only work she has done in all these years is meeting one's match. I think she relied on luck. How could she want to portray Yeva? What a joke. If it weren't for Miss Lin Shuya, the production team wouldn't have offered her a role. How could she reject it? Zhao Hongling's expression darkened as she listened to everyone's discussion. They had offered Lin Yan a role because of Lin Shuya? What a joke. Was she really that shameless that she could make an international production team like Legend of Mir give her face? Of course, meeting one's match had indeed improved Lin Yan's image. However, there were different opinions among the audience. Some believed that it was impossible for the production team to offer Lin Yan a role because of Lin Shuya. Perhaps Lin Yan's acting skills had won the approval of the production team, but it was true that Lin Yan had rejected the offer. Lin Shuya, who was on the stage, was startled when she saw Lin Yan. Lin Shuya's appearance had caught Lin Yan by surprise. Similarly, Lin Yan's appearance had surprised Lin Shuya as well. Lin Shuya knew that Lin Yan had auditioned for Legend. The audition video had been shot by an actress that Lin Shuya knew. That actress had sent the video to Lin Shuya immediately, and Lin Shuya had hinted for the video to be uploaded online. Lin Shuya had received news that the production team had offered Lin Yan a role, but she had rejected it. Hence, Lin Shuya was puzzled by Lin Yan's sudden appearance. Of course, there was another possibility. Lin Yan might have regretted accepting the role. However, based on Lin Shuya's understanding of the production team, once Lin Yan had rejected the role, they wouldn't have given her a chance to change her mind. Legend was an international production team with an arrogant air. They wouldn't even respect the top celebrities in the country, let alone Lin Yan. Lin Yan, Lin Shuya is your sister. Don't you think that you're the only one qualified to portray Yeva? Don't you think that's ridiculous? Miss Lin Yan, you can't compare to Miss Shuya in terms of acting and racing. Miss Shuya is a top racer in the country while you're just a rookie racer. You relied on your family's connections to get into the team. Be it in terms of acting or racing, you still have a long way to go before Miss Shuya. Hence, do you think that you are more suitable for Yeva than Shuya? Lin Yan chuckled softly and replied, I don't compare myself to anyone. Besides, I simply think that I'm the best candidate to portray Yeva. Many reporters looked puzzled when they heard Lin Yan. Chapter 576. On the stage, Lin Shuya glanced at Lin Yan. It seemed like she didn't have to do anything. Soon Lin Yan's career would be over. The reporters on stage and the netizens off stage were the sharpest weapons in her hands. Lin Shuya gazed at Lin Yan with a hint of pity in her eyes. Lin Yan and Lin Yan were no longer in the same world. The man that Lin Yan loved the most was in love with her. Her father had only acknowledged her as his daughter. Lin Yan could only watch as she struggled to survive in this industry. In Lin Shuya's eyes, her older sister was like a clown that she could toy with in the palm of her hand. It was a pity that Lin Yan was far from her level, so she had lost interest in Lin Yan. Lin Shuya didn't even have the desire to look Lin Yan in the eye. Miss Lin Yan, did you receive an invitation from the director of Legend? Only invited guests are allowed to enter, one of the reporters said coldly as he stared at Lin Yan. Yeah, you can't enter without an invitation. Lin Yan pondered for a moment before she shook her head. I didn't receive an invitation. Indeed, the director of Legend had invited her personally. Miss Lin Yan, in that case I think you should leave. You're a public figure. If the security guards kick you out, you won't look good. As they spoke, Zhou Qiao the director and a few others walked over unhurriedly. Zhou Qiao glanced at the stage but Lin Yan was nowhere to be seen. She's down there. The producer spotted Lin Yan and smiled at Zhou Qiao. Before Zhou Qiao could reply, one of the reporters interjected, Mr. Zhou Qiao, director. Someone didn't receive an invitation and barged in. Lin Yan glanced at the reporter and couldn't help but shake her head. How much did this reporter hate her? In order to chase her out, he had become a tattletale. Even she hadn't been treated like this when she had been vilified by the entire internet. It seemed like she had been thoroughly vilified this time. These reporters must be eager for her to die. She didn't receive an invitation? The director quipped. That's her. A female reporter pointed at Lin Yan. Zhou Qiao and the director's eyes trailed to Lin Yan. At this moment their expressions were a little strange. Hello, director. Lin Yan smiled at the director. Miss Lin Yan, come up and take a seat, the director said. However, as soon as the director's voice fell, the expressions of the reporters who had spoken just now changed slightly. The director of Legend had invited her on stage? Under everyone's watchful eyes, Lin Yan strode to the stage with a faint smile on her face. What's going on? Lin Yan didn't receive an invitation, right? Zhou Qiao's eyes darted to the reporters. Miss Lin was personally invited by the director. Is there a problem? Ah? Hearing Zhou Qiao's words, the female reporter's expression immediately changed. Lin Yan hadn't received a written invitation. Had the director of Legend personally invited her? Chapter 577. Why did the director invite Lin Yan? This question puzzled many of the reporters present. I got it. Didn't the production crew offer Lin Yan a role during her audition? She rejected it. I guess she accepted the role later on. As soon as he finished speaking, everyone came to a sudden realization. If that was the case, everything made sense. One of the reporters sneered. I remember Lin Yan saying that she was only interested in the role of Yeva. Other than Yeva, she wasn't interested in any other role. Who doesn't know how to brag? In the end, it was because of Miss Lin Shuya that she managed to get a role. Lin Yan was seated in the middle of the stage next to the director, Zhou Qiao, and the others. There are two objectives for today's press conference. First, we are all interested in the casting of Yeva. Second, we are going to discuss the follow-up production and release date of Legend. After the press conference began, the director laughed as he looked at the audience below the stage. Legend has added a few new characters. They are all outstanding actors and actresses from the country. There are also new stories about Miss Yeva's relationships, the producer added. Legend has a new female racer named Jiang Lai. Her scenes will be filmed soon, the director added. Director, may I know who will be playing the role of Jiang Lai? The director's eyes darted to Lin Shuya. He chuckled softly and said, Miss Lin Shuya will be playing the role of Jiang Lai. As soon as the director finished speaking, Lin Shuya and the reporters froze on the spot. It was as though they had yet to recover from their shock. After some time, one of the reporters exclaimed, Miss Lin Shuya will be playing the role of Jiang Lai? Didn't the production crew announce that Miss Lin Shuya would be playing the role of Yeva? Yes. Zhou Qiao nodded and grinned. However, they also mentioned that it's only a temporary decision. Yeva is still in the process of casting, so it's not confirmed yet. Lin Yin fell into deep thought. It was no wonder that Lin Shuya had appeared today. The production team hadn't completely abandoned Lin Shuya. Instead, they had added a new character named Jiang Lai to the cast. It was undeniable that the production crew truly loved Lin Shuya. On the other hand, Lin Shuya's expression changed several times in an instant. She had already signed a contract with Legend. However, it wasn't a definite role. It was just a promise that she would play a certain role in the production. However, Lin Shuya had always believed that the role of Yeva belonged to her. Not too long ago, Legend had even announced that Lin Shuya would play the role of Yeva. Lin Shuya had never imagined that there would be such a turn of events. In fact, the production crew hadn't even informed her of the sudden change in her role. However, if she wasn't the one who played Yeva, who else could it be? While Yeva was in the country, everything had been under her control. No one was more suitable than her to play the role of Yeva. Chapter 578. Although Lin Shuya was infuriated and confused, she could only force a smile. She didn't reveal any of her emotions. Recently, we discovered an outstanding actress. In our opinion, she is the most suitable candidate for the role of Yeva. Hence, a few days ago we finally confirmed the actress to play Yeva. However, it's a pity that she isn't Miss Lin Shuya. Zhou Qiao glanced at the bewildered reporters below the stage and grinned. One of the reporters asked anxiously, Mr. Zhou Qiao, if Miss Lin Shuya isn't the actress who played Yeva, who is the best actress who played Yeva? Everyone started to make guesses, but they couldn't come up with any leads. Other than Lin Shuya, there wasn't anyone else who was more suitable to portray Yeva. Lin Shuya's acting skills were superb, and she had an elegant demeanor. She had also recently become the sponsor of a top team in the country. The top team was full of praises for Lin Shuya. They claimed that Lin Shuya was extremely talented and that she could compete as a professional racer. Was there anyone more suitable than Lin Shuya for the role of Yeva? The director of Legend felt helpless. Actually, he also thought that Lin Shuya was the most suitable actress to portray Yeva. It was a pity that Yeva hadn't taken a liking to Lin Shuya. Instead, she had chosen Lin Yin. After our discussion, we have finally decided that Miss Lin Yin, who is standing next to me, will portray Yeva. Zhou Qiao turned to Lin Yin. As soon as Zhou Qiao said Lin Yan's name, the entire hall fell silent. There wasn't even the slightest noise. The reporters widened their eyes in disbelief as they stared at Lin Yin. Had they heard wrongly? The actress who would portray Yeva was even more suitable than Lin Shuya? Lin Yin? Even Zhao Hongling, who was below the stage, was dumbfounded, not to mention the reporters. Zhao Hongling glanced at Lin Yin with a strange expression on her face. She had never dreamed that Lin Yin would be able to portray Yeva. However, Zhou Qiao had personally announced that Lin Yin would be the one to portray Yeva in Legend. How is that possible? Lin Shuya instinctively turned to look at Lin Yin. Her eyes were filled with shock before they turned dark and gloomy. Had Lin Yin stolen the role that was supposed to belong to her? How had Lin Yin managed to do it? How could she have been chosen by Legend? Lin Yin wasn't qualified to be mentioned in the same breath as her. How could she beat her and get the role of Yeva? Even if the production crew didn't think that she was suitable, they wouldn't have chosen Lin Yin. Congratulations, sister. Lin Shuya calmed down after a while. Although Lin Shuya couldn't understand or accept it, the fact that Zhou Qiao and the director had announced that Lin Yin would be playing the role of Yeva was an irrefutable fact. Thank you. Lin Yin glanced at Lin Shuya with a smile. Are you kidding me? Lin Yin is acting as Yeva? Lin Yin got into Legend because of Lin Shuya. Why did Lin Yan end up as Yeva's actress instead of Lin Shuya? This news was too explosive. For a moment, many media reporters found it hard to digest. The female reporters who had mocked and ridiculed Lin Yan earlier wanted to dig a hole and hide in it. Chapter 579. At that moment, many of the reporters present looked at each other with a strange look in their eyes. There had been rumors that Lin Yan had gotten into the production team because of Lin Shuya. However, it seemed like that wasn't the case. The video of Lin Yan's audition had also been leaked online. In the video, Lin Yan had claimed that she was the only one qualified to play the role of Yeva. Because of this, she had been criticized by netizens and media outlets. Who would have thought that Lin Yan would actually get the role of Yeva? Not long after, many media reporters outside the club also received this unbelievable news. Lin Yan had defeated Yeva and gotten the role. The arrogant comments that she had made during the audition had turned out to be true. A female reporter glanced at Zhou Qiao with a frown. Mr. Zhou Qiao, you're Lang Mang's disciple. You're also an outstanding racer. According to what you said, Lang Mang sent you to the country to help Legend find an outstanding actress suitable for Yeva. Is that right? Hearing this, Zhou Qiao looked at the female reporter and nodded. Indeed, your understanding is correct. Okay. The female reporter quipped, in that case we would like to ask Mr. Zhou Qiao. Is Lin Yan an outstanding actress suitable to play the role of Yeva in your eyes? As the female reporter's voice fell, some of the media reporters who wanted to say something but didn't dare to do so all softly echoed her. Mr. Zhou Qiao, director, you might not know much about Miss Lin Yan, but we know that she isn't suitable for the role of Yeva. Even without Miss Shuya, Zhou Qiao glanced at the few people who spoke and chuckled. I've rarely seen reporters who act like this. Lin Yan wasn't bothered by the reporter's comments. Instead, she was reading the messages that the director had sent her. Go 11 typed, Madam Yeva, we have respected your decision and allowed Miss Lin Yan to play the role. However, the actress that you've chosen isn't very popular in the country. The director then sent Lin Yan a video that showed the reporter's comments and the negative news about her online. However, the director would never have guessed that the person sitting next to him was none other than Yeva herself. Lin Yan raised her head and glanced at the director, who was focused on sending her a message. It seemed like the director had taken a liking to Lin Shuya. He wanted to make a final gamble. What if Yeva changed her mind after reading the negative news? If Yeva changed her mind, the production team wouldn't mind paying the penalty. They could get Lin Shuya back. Lin Yan sent a message to the director. Yeva replied, not bad. Go 11, pretty good? Is this okay? Yeva replied, I think that Lin Yan is different from the rest. She is unique and has a unique personality. I like her because she resembles me. I think that she is the only person in the entire world who is suitable to portray my life. Go 11 was speechless. After Lin Yan sent the message, she glanced at the director, who was staring at his phone in a daze. Why did she feel sorry for Gao Fushuai? P.S. 7 chapters have been updated. Sister Yan is always so awesome when she praises herself. Chapter 580. The director glanced at Lin Yan in confusion before he read Yeva's message. During the audition, Lin Yan had said that she was the only one in the entire country who was qualified to portray Yeva. She wasn't interested in any other roles. However, Yeva had told him that Lin Yan was the only one in the entire country who had the right to portray her life. What the hell was going on? Why were these two people so closely connected? Could they have been lovers in their previous lives? In fact, the director felt as though Yeva and Lin Yan were the same person. Even their words were shockingly similar. In the end, the director sighed heavily. Yeva seemed to have made up her mind to choose Lin Yan. From the looks of it, there shouldn't be any surprises. Go 11 typed, Dear Madame Yeva, are you sure you don't want to reconsider? Actually, I feel that Miss Lin Yan isn't suitable to portray you. Yeva replied, I don't care what you think. I want what I think. Go 11 was speechless. Yeva typed, of course. If you feel that it's too difficult for you, you can remove my scenes. The director broke out in a cold sweat when he read Yeva's message. He hastily typed, I suddenly feel that Miss Lin Yan is indeed a good choice. She has a good personality. Madam Yeva, you have a good eye for people. Lin Yan glanced at the director discreetly. She wished that she could stand up and give him a thumbs up. His attitude had changed so quickly. Director? Some reporters asked the director a series of questions about Lin Yan. However, they realized that the director was too focused on his phone to hear them. The director snapped back to his senses. Sorry, I was chatting with Madam Yeva. Following the director's words, everyone was shocked, including Zhou Qiao, who was on the stage. Chatting with Madame Yeva? Which Madame Yeva? She is the Madame Yeva that you have imagined, the director replied. Oh my God. Is that Madame Yeva? Director, do you know Madame Yeva? Yeva was famous for refusing to meet strangers. Even the most hardcore fans couldn't meet her, let alone have her contact details to chat with her. In the public's mind, Yeva was synonymous with racing. It was as though she had dedicated her entire life to racing. Until now, not many people had seen her real face. The reporters were curious when they heard that the director was chatting with Yeva. The director chuckled. Of course I do. Miss Yeva and I are good friends. We've known each other for a long time. She really likes my work and I'm her loyal fan. Lin Yan was speechless. Although this director was famous, she had never watched any of his films. Besides, they weren't close. Director, can we take a look at your conversation with Yeva? A reporter couldn't wait to ask. Of course not. The director frowned. This is a private matter between Madame Yeva and I. Madame Yeva is a very private person. Lin Yan was speechless. What did he mean by their privacy? Couldn't he use another term? Soon, Lin Yan received another message from the director. Go 11 typed, Madame Yeva, the reporters are very enthusiastic. They want to see our conversation. Do you think? Yeva replied, no. The director glanced at the crowd. I just asked, but Yeva said no. Chapter 581. When they left the club, it was already afternoon. Zhao Hongling, who seemed to be in a daze, glanced at Lin Yan from time to time. Lin Yan, how did you get the role of Yeva? After some time, Zhao Hongling couldn't help but ask. In Zhao Hongling's opinion, it would be a miracle if Lin Yan could get a minor role in Legend. However, when she arrived at the press conference today, Zhao Hongling realized that Lin Yan had gotten the role of Yeva. Although Yeva didn't have many scenes in the movie and had only appeared at the end, she had played an important role in the movie. In fact, the importance of this character far surpassed that of the male and female leads. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that Yeva, who didn't have many scenes, was the soul of the movie. Zhao Hongling was puzzled. Why would the production crew take a liking to Lin Yan? Recently, Lin Yan's scandals had reached their peak. Logically speaking, the production team wouldn't have given Lin Yan such an important role. Lin Yan's eyes trailed to Zhao Hongling as she contemplated this for some time. Then she smiled at Zhao Hongling. Sister Ling, perhaps my acting skills are better. Zhao Hongling was speechless. Lin Yan's acting skills had been proven through meeting one's match. She was indeed pretty good. However, acting skills weren't enough to play a role like Yeva. Besides, Lin Shuya's acting skills weren't bad either. Hence, the production team had made the right choice by choosing Lin Shuya. Lin Shuya had returned to the office and was sitting on the couch. Her face was as dark as a thundercloud. She couldn't understand why the director and Zhou Qiao would give Lin Yan the role of Yeva. Why would they give it to her? No matter how one looked at it, Lin Yan would never get such a role. Zhao Hongling immediately called Zhou Qiao. Miss Shuya, what's the matter? Zhou Qiao's voice was heard. Mr. Zhou Qiao, I would like to know why Lin Yan got the role of Yeva. I'm just curious. Lin Shuya suppressed her anger and chuckled softly. Oh, the production crew thinks that Lin Yan is more suitable for the role. Miss Shuya, you should know that we came to the country to find a suitable candidate to portray Yeva. Hence, we can't be sure who we will choose until the last moment. A cold glint flashed across Lin Shuya's eyes. A moment later, a strange smile appeared on her face. Giving her a role like Yeva would boost her career. However, Lin Yan wasn't able to handle such a role. Lin Yan was full of negative comments. No matter how well she acted, Yeva's fans wouldn't accept the role. That would be akin to trying to kill Lin Yan. She wanted to see how long Lin Yan, who had relied on luck, could last. In a restaurant, are you full? Lin Yan glanced at Zhao Hongling with a grin. Zhao Hongling glanced at Lin Yan. You said that you would treat me to a feast, and this is it? Chapter 582. There were spicy and sour shredded potatoes, stir-fried meat with green peppers, scrambled eggs with tomatoes, and 2 bowls of rice. Sister Ling, it's just the 2 of us. It would be a waste if we ordered too much, quipped Lin Yan. Zhao Hongling was speechless. Zhao Hongling felt helpless. She had met stingy people before, but she had never met someone as stingy as Lin Yan. She was a public figure after all, and she had even joined an international production team. Was there a need to be so stingy? In the past, Zhao Hongling had assumed that Lin Yan was a thrifty, hardworking, and virtuous mother. However, she couldn't tell if Lin Yan was stingy or just frugal. Do you want to take the remaining shredded potatoes home? Zhao Hongling glanced at Lin Yan as she asked. Lin Yan grinned and was about to reply when her expression changed. Her eyes darted to a table in the distance. Lin Yin mulled it over for some time before she turned to Zhao Hongling. Sister Ling, you should head back first. I have something to do. Zhao Hongling nodded and replied, okay. Hold on. Sister Ling, lend me your car, said Lin Yin. Zhao Hongling didn't think twice before she placed the keys on the table. Drive carefully. This is my new car. Sister Ling, you are insulting my driving skills. Lin Yin grinned at her. Zhao Hongling was speechless. Did she really think that she was Yeva after getting the role? Driving skills? After Zhao Hongling left, Lin Yin stood up slowly and walked to the cashier. How much is it? 240 yuan. 240 for those dishes? How much are the potatoes? Asked Lin Yin. 38. Lin Yin glanced at the middle-aged man. Boss, did you dig the potatoes yourself? After she paid the bill, she took the car keys and left the shop. Lin Yin walked to the parking lot and glanced behind her, looking puzzled. Could it be that he was overthinking just now? Back at the restaurant, Lin Yin sensed that something was amiss with the last few customers. The moment they entered the restaurant, they kept sizing her up. Lin Yin slapped her forehead in exasperation. She suddenly remembered that she was a public figure and a famous actress. How could she not be famous when she was able to lead the internet trolling frenzy? Before Lin Yin could mull over this, the men from the restaurant appeared in the parking lot as well. One of the men, who was wearing a trench coat and had a buzz cut, glanced at Lin Yin. The corners of his mouth curled into a cold, sinister smile. A second later, the man made a throat-slitting gesture at her. It was her at the beach last time. Don't let her get away. One of the men glared at Lin Yin as he spoke coldly. They were speaking in a foreign language, but Lin Yin could understand them. Seaside? Lin Yin fell into deep thought at the man's words. A few seconds later, Lin Yin finally recalled that she had been attacked by a group of mysterious men at the He family's beach. Therefore, these people who appeared before him. Lin Yin opened the door and stepped on the accelerator without hesitation. She sped out of the parking lot. As the saying went, a wise man knew better than to fight when the odds were against him. 2 fists were no match for 4 hands, let alone so many. Lin Yin drove very fast. However, the car she was driving had limited horsepower, so she couldn't shake off the cars behind her. Chapter 583. F***CK. Lin Yin observed the situation through the rearview mirror. Initially, she had intended to wait for a red light. However, the car behind her had ignored the traffic rules and sped past the red light. Lin Yin had no choice but to bite the bullet and run a few red lights. Moments later, Lin Yin sped into the suburbs. There were few cars around and the terrain was complicated. Lin Yin could use her driving skills to the fullest. Even if her feminine car didn't have enough horsepower, it shouldn't be a problem for her to shake off the car behind her. As expected, the road wasn't easy to drive on. The car behind her was driving too fast, so it almost flipped over when it passed a protruding road. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth curled into a devilish smile. Who did they think she was? How dare they race with her? However, the smile on Lin Yan's face froze in the next second. She frowned deeply. A luxurious off-road vehicle was swaying left and right as it crashed into Lin Yan's car. Lin Yan turned the steering wheel in the opposite direction to avoid it. However, Lin Yin hadn't expected that the luxury Jeep in front of her would be like a magnet. Wherever her car went, the Jeep would follow. Even a scammer wouldn't do that. The road ahead was narrow, so it wasn't easy to maneuver. Besides, the off-road vehicle seemed to be trying to scam her, so Lin Yin had no choice but to step on the brakes. Bang! Lin Yan's car had just stopped when the luxurious off-road vehicle crashed into it. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. This was the car that Sister Ling had just bought. How could someone drive a luxurious off-road vehicle to scam others? Her car had come to a complete stop. It was the car that had crashed into her. However, Lin Yin couldn't be sure if this luxurious off-road vehicle was really bad at driving or if it was in cahoots with the car behind her. A few seconds later, the luxurious off-road vehicle's door swung open. Lin Yin saw a cold and aloof man emerge from the car and walk to Lin Yan's side. The man's eyes were different from ordinary people's. They were slightly green and his cold expression made one shudder. The man knocked on Lin Yan's car bed. Lin Yin rolled down the window. You crashed into my car. The man stared at Lin Yin, his voice cold and emotionless. Lin Yin was dumbfounded when she heard the man. What did this man say? Did I hit his car? What the F***CK? There's a dashcam in the car. Should we turn on the recording to see who hit who? You're so good looking. You can do anything but pretend to be someone else. She had already stopped the car completely, and this man's car had crashed into her. Now she was the one who had crashed into his car. Aren't you with the people behind us? Lin Yin frowned at the man. With that kind of appearance and temperament, he didn't seem like a scammer at all. What do you mean? The man glanced at Lin Yin expressionlessly. Lin Yin was speechless. Well, what was the saying? You can't judge a book by its cover. It seemed that he was really a scammer, but he did it at a bad time. Can you drive? The man stared at Lin Yin as he returned to the car. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched as she sighed helplessly. I have the dashcam. Hurry up and leave. Chapter 584. The man's eyes gleamed coldly when he heard Lin Yin. You said that I'm a scammer? Lin Yin grinned at him. He knew his place. Wasn't it just a scammer? Take a look at the recording device, said the man. Before Lin Yin could say anything else, a loud explosion echoed behind her. Lin Yan's expression changed. They had caught up. Soon 6 young men got out of the car. Is this man her helper? The leader of the group asked coldly. Immediately, one of the men looked at the man with dark green eyes. What's your relationship with her? However, the man didn't seem to understand their language. He turned to Lin Yin and asked, Are they talking to me? Lin Yin replied, Of course. Can you understand what they are saying? The man asked softly. Lin Yin didn't want to implicate innocent bystanders, so she translated, They are saying that given your driving skills, you shouldn't be driving anymore. They are saying that they will beat you up the next time they see you driving. Really? Are you sure? Asked the man. Lin Yin nodded furiously. Yes, they are even more vicious than that. I'm just too embarrassed to translate. Hurry up and leave or they will really beat you up. I understand. The man cracked his neck gently and took off his suit jacket. Lin Yin stared at him in bewilderment as he placed it on her arm. Hold this for me. It's very expensive. Lin Yin was speechless. Why did she have to hold his jacket for him? The man was wearing a white shirt. He gently unbuttoned the top 2 buttons and strode over to the group of young men. *CK. Don't. Lin Yin was dumbfounded. Was he trying to court death? Lin Yin hadn't expected this man to be so hot-tempered. She had said those words to get the man to leave. They weren't ordinary people. Each of them was very powerful. Besides, even if there were 5 or 6 ordinary people, this man wouldn't be able to defeat them. How could he fight 6 of them at once? Before Lin Yin could ponder further, she heard a loud bang. Lin Yan's expression changed instantly. The man shoved his hands into the pockets of his trousers and kicked out with his right leg. The leader of the group with the crew cut didn't know what had happened and was kicked in the neck. The man with the brush cut immediately bent over. He tried to lift his head, but the man's foot was still on his neck, making it impossible for him to move. Oh, you're not an ordinary person. The man's eyes were emotionless as he stared at the buzz-cut man. Who the hell are you? We're looking for her, it has nothing to do with you. A man beside the man with the brush cut shouted coldly. Translate, the man said expressionlessly. Lin Yin was speechless. He said he threw some broken bones on the steering wheel and there was a dog on the seat. Even a dog can drive better than me. Is that what you mean? The man's voice grew colder. He also said that he wanted you to drive a scooter. You didn't listen and even hit their big brother. They want you to die a horrible death. You're dead meat. Lin Yin glanced awkwardly at the man. She had translated with such sincerity that he would probably believe her. Chapter 585. Actually, Lin Yin could only understand the gist of what they were saying. She reckoned that she had translated most of it. At this moment, the man's jade-green eyes were filled with a bone-chilling coldness. You want me to go home and drive a scooter? The man with the crew cut gritted his teeth. Who the hell are you? This has nothing to do with you. The young man beside the man retorted coldly, Don't dig your own grave. Translate. The man gazed at Lin Yin with his green eyes. Lin Yin nodded furiously. They said that you must have bought your driver's license. How dare you drive with such poor driving skills? It's a pity that cars can't talk. If cars could talk. The man with the buzz cut said that your strength is like a woman's. You're soft and weak. He asked if you were using the widow punch. As soon as Lin Yin finished speaking, there was a loud bang. The man with the buzz cut's neck had completely bowed. Kneel, the man ordered coldly. Bang. In the next second, the buzz cut man's knees fell to the ground, and he came into intimate contact with the yellow soil. Lin Yin couldn't help but click her tongue. This man. Who was he? The people who had chased after her were definitely not simple. If she hadn't lost her mind, she wouldn't have been able to deal with them. The group of people in front of her should be stronger than the ones she had met previously. However, they were nothing in front of this man. He had crushed them easily. Let him go. The young man beside the man with the buzz cut bellowed angrily. He was about to strike. However, before the young man could do anything, the young man had already punched out. With a loud bang, the young man was sent flying like a kite with a broken string. When he landed, he rolled on the ground for a few more meters. This widow's punch is quite powerful. The corners of the man's mouth curled up slightly, forming an evil smile. Lin Yan was speechless. Boss, you're awesome. Although this man's driving skills were only suitable for driving a clam, his boxing skills gave him full marks. Damn it, you bastard. Who are you? Why are you interfering with our business? Do you know who we are? If you leave now, we can let bygones be bygones. The buzz-cut man knelt on the ground. The man's leg was still pressed against his neck. The buzz-cut man could not even raise his head to see the man's face. Flip. The man's eyes darted back to Lin Yan. Lin Yan nodded eagerly. However, this sentence was a little difficult to understand, so she had to figure it out first. Lin Yan stroked her chin and said solemnly, he should be saying, you're doomed. They have a powerful background, so you'll have no hope in this life if you provoke them. Even God can't save you. If you kneel down and call them daddy, they might consider sparing your life. The man furrowed his eyebrows. But he didn't say much. Sigh. That's how foreign languages are. Chapter 586. The man raised his head with much difficulty and finally saw the man's face clearly. You seem like a person? A look of fear appeared in the eyes of the man with the buzz cut. He said that you look like a woman. If you have the guts, try and touch him again. Lin Yan translated for the man before he could speak. I'm curious, the man said coldly. Will his bones be harder than his mouth? After saying that, the man grabbed the brush-cut man's throat and lifted him into the air. What's up? Maybe. It's a misunderstanding. The man's face was flushed. His throat was being strangled, so he couldn't speak clearly. He said that regardless of the misunderstanding, you have offended them today. You have to pay a heavy price. You won't even be able to drive a car in the future, replied Lin Yan. As Lin Yan translated, the man's fists rained down on the man's face. In the blink of an eye, the man's face was swollen and unsightly. That woman kept talking to him. What were they talking about? A young man behind the man glanced at Lin Yan in shock. He said that you can't even understand a foreign language. How dare you ask a woman to translate for you? You should just die, quipped Lin Yan. Interesting. When the man heard Lin Yan's translation, a hint of anger surfaced in his eyes. A few minutes later, the 6 young men who had chased after Lin Yan collapsed to the ground and wailed in agony. Spare us. We were wrong. This is definitely a misunderstanding. Run. This man. I remember now. He's that man. I've seen him before. There's no mistake. Lin Yan pondered for a moment before she told the man. The first one said that you would beg for mercy one day. The second one said that you're not a human. You're a beast. He seems to have seen you somewhere before. Yes, he has seen you before. You're his dog. Really? The man lowered his head to look at the 2 men. Yeah, I think so. That's what they said. Lin Yan nodded. The man with the crew cut glared at Lin Yan and gritted his teeth. You be asterisk. What did you say to him? Given his status, you can't be with him. Translate, the man instructed Lin Yan. All right. Lin Yan nodded and pondered for a moment. He said, who do you think you are? In their eyes you have no status. You're just an insignificant clown. He also said that you look like AB *TCH. Given your status, you don't even have the right to shine their shoes. Lin Yan's heart ached as she watched the people on the ground. They had been beaten up so badly. Couldn't they have begged for mercy? How dare they provoke them like this? They deserve to be beaten to death. After Lin Yan translated, they heard a series of screams as the 6 people on the ground were beaten up again. Half an hour later, the man glanced at them coldly and said, look at their expressions. I don't think they'll be so tough this time. The man waved his hand impatiently at them. Don't appear in my sight. Otherwise, you'll have to bear the consequences. Chapter 587. Although she didn't understand what the man was saying, she could see him waving his hand impatiently. As though they had been pardoned, they helped each other up and scrambled to get into their cars. They stepped on the accelerator and disappeared in an instant. Lin Yan couldn't help but sigh. The man's driving skills were impressive. You should consider joining the He family team as a professional racer. After they left, the man extended his hand to Lin Yan. Lin Yan was perplexed. Clothes? The man gazed at Lin Yan with his green eyes. Lin Yan hurriedly passed the suit to the man. Big brother, is everything alright? If there's nothing else, I'm leaving. You should leave too. Before they left, they asked you to wait while they called someone. Lin Yan translated for him. You crashed into my car, the man replied softly. Lin Yan couldn't control her temper when she heard him. This man had crashed into her car. Sister Ling had just bought it. She had already said that she wouldn't hold him responsible, yet he wouldn't let it go. Was he trying to extort money from her? He could give up his life, but he wouldn't extort money from her. Besides, she reckoned that even the insurance company wouldn't cover his luxurious car. She would have to pay for the repairs herself. Who could afford that? Lin Yan suppressed her anger and forced a smile. There. You crashed into my car. I have the dashcam. If you don't believe me, let's take a look. If I did crash into your car, you can say whatever you want. Are you saying that my driving skills aren't good enough? The man glared at Lin Yan coldly. Lin Yan shrugged. He was right. She was saying that his driving skills weren't good enough, so he should just go home and drive a toy car. Naturally, Lin Yan didn't dare say it out loud. She merely smiled helplessly. Let's look at the dashcam. Let the truth speak for itself. Okay. The man nodded and turned to Lin Yan. I have it in my car too. What is it? Lin Yan didn't know what to say. The dashcam. The man strode to his luxurious car without turning his head. Get in. The man opened the car door. She had no choice but to get into the man's luxurious car. After she got into the car, Lin Yan scanned the surroundings. She had to admit that the interior and style of the car were filled with the smell of money. The only pity was that the front of the car was dented and there were scratches on both sides. Even Lin Yan felt a twinge of heartache. After the man got in the car, he did not say a word and directly played the video of the driving recorder on the central screen. The content of the video was a recording of the 30 minutes before the crash. Lin Yan stared at the screen. The man's car was wobbly and wobbly. It would be a waste to let him drive such a good car. A moment later, the scene before the crash finally appeared on the central screen. Lin Yan's car swerved frantically to avoid it, but the man's car was like a magnet. Wherever Lin Yan's car swerved, the man's car swerved. In the end, Lin Yan's car was forced to stop, but the man's car continued to crash into it. Seeing this, the man's indifferent expression, which had always been otherworldly, finally had a slight change. Chapter 588. The man frowned as though he couldn't believe what had happened. He rewound the recording and replayed it several times. Unfortunately, the truth couldn't be changed. Lin Yan's car had indeed stopped a long time ago. He had been stubborn and had crashed into it. This scene could even be regarded as a textbook case of faking an accident. The smile on Lin Yan's face widened as she studied the man intently. She had to admit that it was rare for this man to force her to stop. She had been forced to stop her car 3 times in her life. The first time it had been the red light. The second time it had been the competition. The third time, it had been the man's terrible driving skills. Lin Yan could swear to God that if this man hadn't deliberately tried to scam her, his driving skills had to be terrifying. Facts speak louder than words, right? Lin Yan glanced at the man who was deep in thought and chuckled softly. The man snapped out of his daze when he heard Lin Yan. Did you tamper with my car's camera? The smile on Lin Yan's face froze when she heard the man. Lin Yan had always thought that there weren't many people in this world who could be as shameless as her. That was until she had met this man today. You can even tamper with the driving recorder? Lin Yan had never heard of such a thing in her life. Even if she could tamper with the video, she had been sitting in the passenger seat all this time. Everything she had done had been under the man's watch. When had she touched his driving camera? Given my driving skills, I wouldn't have touched your car. The man's expression turned cold and aloof as he stared at Lin Yan with his green eyes. If you tell me the truth and say that you crashed into my car, I will let bygones be bygones. Lin Yan stared at the man and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He was talking about his driving skills? Did he have some kind of misunderstanding about driving? Driving skills? Did he have such skills? He was a Milky Way away from this thing. Big brother, you really crashed into my car. How could the driving camera be fake? Asked Lin Yan. Are you sure? I can give you another chance. Tell me the truth. The man's eyes became colder. All right. I crashed into your car, all right? Lin Yan sighed. What else could she say? You're brushing me off, aren't you? The man said coldly. Lin Yan was speechless. Someone come and save her. It was better for him to be captured by that group of people. She had had enough. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have maligned you. My driving skills are limited. Besides, this road is treacherous, so I accidentally bumped into your car. Also, my driving instructor is dead. He died of anger because of me. Lin Yan glared at the man and gritted her teeth. Very good. The man's expression softened when he heard Lin Yan. But I don't have any money to compensate you. I'm warning you, Lin Yan replied hastily. She had to admit that her driving skills were bad. Asking her to pay? No way. It doesn't matter. I forgive you. You don't have to compensate me, the man said lightly. Lin Yan was speechless. So this man just couldn't stand others saying that he was bad at driving? Be careful next time, the man said. Lin Yan grinned. Thank you for your concern. Chapter 589. Lin Yan studied the man in the driver's seat, wondering if he had a driver's license. Lin Yan had never seen such driving skills before. Even when she had first started to learn how to drive, she had never seen such a glaring performance. Not only was this man terrible at driving, but he was also extremely confident and prideful. If she were to say that he was terrible at driving, she would be in danger of falling out with him. However, Lin Yan was curious about this man's identity. Who exactly was he, What's your name? Lin Yan's eyes trailed to the man as she asked with a smile. The man turned around and glanced at Lin Yan. You don't have to ask. Lin Yan was speechless. Before Lin Yan could reply, the man asked, Your name? Lin Yan grinned. You don't have to tell me. The man scanned Lin Yan from head to toe. Got it. Is that all? I'm leaving. Lin Yan was about to get out of the car. Hold on. The man suddenly stopped Lin Yan. Is there anything else? Lin Yan was puzzled. I have a job that suits you. Are you interested? The man stared at Lin Yan intently. Lin Yan was startled. A job that suited her? Or a job that suited him? What job? Lin Yan blurted out. The man stared at Lin Yan and fell silent for a few seconds. Translate. Forget it. I have a job. Lin Yan shook her head and rejected him. I'll translate for free this time. For free? The man frowned when he heard Lin Yan. His eyes turned cold again. I don't like to take advantage of others. Oh. Lin Yan nodded and extended her hand to the man. Give me the money. The man didn't respond. He got out of the car and retrieved a stack of cash from the trunk. Lin Yan's eyes narrowed when she saw the stack of cash. Was this a joke? That was a lot of money. She had merely translated for him once, yet he was giving her so much money? If it's not enough, I can transfer the money to you, the man replied expressionlessly. Doggy, enough. It's enough. Lin Yan nodded eagerly. Wasn't this money enough? Lin Yan stared at the man in astonishment. Was there something wrong with this man's brain? The reward he gave her was enough to pay a translator who was proficient in 8 languages for 2 months. However, she didn't believe that this man was retarded. She could only say that he was a wastrel who squandered his money like dirt. Can I ask you something? Lin Yan grinned at the man. Speak, the man said. You mentioned that you need an interpreter. How much is the monthly salary? Asked Lin Yan. 10 times, the man said. I'm proficient. No, I know a little about 18 languages. I also know a little about the indigenous language and oracle bone inscriptions. I think I'm very suitable for this job, replied Lin Yan hastily. Lin Yan didn't give the man a chance to speak. She then added, however, I have a job, so translating can only be a part-time job. What do you think? Sure, the man said lightly. Boss, should we sign a contract or something? Asked Lin Yan. Sure. Lin Yan was speechless. Was this a free lunch? Lin Yan added the man on WeChat. The man's profile picture was a black hole, and his nickname was Xiao. Chapter 590. After she left, Lin Yan was elated. The salary of this part-time job was even higher than her current job. Was this considered a blessing in disguise? Besides, this job was easy. She would only be contacted if she needed help. If she didn't, she would be free. She could do 10 jobs like this. Although she had exaggerated when she claimed that she knew 18 languages, she could make up stories. She could learn. When she returned to Cloud Manor, she realized that Pei Yutong wasn't around. He must have gone out to have fun. Before Lin Yan could sit down, Zhao Hongling's phone rang like a death knell. Lin Yan felt guilty when she saw the caller ID. Had Zhao Hongling found out? That couldn't be so fast, right? Just as Lin Yan was contemplating whether she should pick up the call ended. A few seconds later the urgent bell rang again. Lin Yan had no choice but to answer Zhao Hongling's call. Lin Yan, did the King of Hell call you? Zhao Hongling's voice was calm. Huh. Lin Yan was startled. You ran 4 red lights in a row. I want to ask you how you felt when you ran a red light, replied Zhao Hongling. Sister Ling, it's not what you think. I have to run a red light. Don't be angry. Listen to me. Lin Yan sounded embarrassed. Stop arguing. Drive the car over now. Moments later Lin Yan arrived at the traffic department. Zhao Hongling walked out of the building. The car was parked in front of Zhao Hongling, but she didn't seem to notice it. She was still looking into the distance. Lin Yan rolled down the window and glanced at Zhao Hongling. Sister Ling, I'm here. Zhao Hongling looked puzzled. Lin Yan, where's my car? Lin Yan was speechless. Lin Yan grinned. This is it? Zhao Hongling almost fainted when she scrutinized Lin Yan's car. How could she tell that it was her car? It had been a beautiful sheepdog when she had given it to her. Now it was a crippled stray dog. The front of the car was dented and there were scratches all over it. There was also dirt and dust. Did you roll in the mud? Zhao Hongling stared at Lin Yan intently. It's a long story. Lin Yan had no idea how to explain it to Zhao Hongling. If she told her the truth, would Zhao Hongling think that she was out of her mind? Zhao Hongling opened the passenger door and sat down. Let's go. Sister Ling, why don't you drive? Asked Lin Yan. Now that Lin Yan had mentioned driving, Zhao Hongling flared up in anger. Lin Yan felt a chill run down her spine as Zhao Hongling stared at her. She felt a little guilty. Sister Ling, what's wrong? So, do you think I can still drive? Zhao Hongling asked. Lin Yan was startled. Why not? Zhao Hongling glanced at Lin Yan. You ran 4 red lights and exceeded the speed limit. That's 36 points. I still owe you 24 points. My license has been revoked. How am I supposed to drive? Lin Yan was speechless. This was way too awkward. Also, how did it happen? Zhao Hongling frowned. Someone hit me, Lin Yan replied honestly. Through the car's dashcam, Zhao Hongling saw the truth. She had indeed been hit by a luxury SUV. Chapter 591. Although Zhao Hongling didn't know what had happened, it had already happened, so she could only accept it helplessly. Oh right. She retrieved a stack of cash from her bag and handed it to Zhao Hongling. This is? Looking at the stack of cash in front of her, Zhao Hongling was confused. Sister Ling, this is compensation from the person who hit your car? Lin Yan explained to Zhao Hongling. Zhao Hongling was taken aback. So many? Although she had just bought this car not long ago, it didn't cost much. These were indeed a little too much. It's not much. I haven't included the depreciation. Lin Yan replied hastily. Although she earned the money with her translation skills, she was the one who caused Zhao Hongling to suffer heavy losses. Not only did her car become like this, but her driver's license was also revoked. Lin Yan had indeed driven the car, but Zhao Hongling was the owner. Hence, Zhao Hongling had to bear the cost. Zhao Hongling glanced at Lin Yan in astonishment and chuckled. If that's the case, I've profited. Lin Yan was speechless. After parting ways with Zhao Hongling, Lin Yan drove to Cloud Manor while Zhao Hongling hailed a cab. Since Zhao Hongling's license had been revoked, Lin Yan had to take care of the car before she could get a new one. When Lin Yan passed by a building, she couldn't help but be drawn to the huge banner hanging on the building. Virtual Reality Game Development Company. Virtual reality? Lin Yan's interest was piqued. Of course, she knew about virtual reality games. She had played them before. They were very immersive and required a helmet. But what the hell was a research company? Specializing in virtual reality games? Lin Yan had passed this building twice today. The first time she had seen it, it had still been up for sale. How could someone have bought it in the afternoon? Buying an entire building to research virtual reality games? It must be a big company. When she returned to Cloud Manor, Pei Yutong suddenly surrounded her. Daddy, you bought a car. Pei Yutong stared at the car beside Lin Yan in astonishment. What? Can't I? Lin Yan glanced at him. No, Daddy. You're so stingy. It doesn't fit your image to buy a car all of a sudden. Pei Yutong replied. Lin Yan was speechless. She buckled? Which eye of this brat's had seen him gouge? Moreover, this car didn't look like a new car. Daddy, you bought a new car. Treat me to dinner tonight. Pei Yutong grinned at Lin Yan. Lin Yan nodded. Sure. Pei Yutong grinned. Daddy, what are you treating me to? Lin Yan eyed him intently. I'll treat you to 2 slaps, okay? Pei Yutong, it's okay. Daddy, you're so nice to me. I'll treat you when I have time. Pei Yutong looked a little awkward. Daddy, the competition is about to begin. Daddy, can you join my team? I will reward you handsomely. Pei Yutong gazed at Lin Yan with a sincere expression. Lin Yan, who had wanted to reject him harshly, paused for a moment before she said, Actually, we're family. You're treating me like an outsider. Money isn't important. How much do you intend to give me? Chapter 592. Pei Yutong stared at Lin Yan in bewilderment. Money wasn't important? If it wasn't, how could she ask him how much he could give her? Daddy, I've used all my money to expand my team and hire elite racers. I'm a little short on cash. How about I write you an IOU? Name a price. Pei Yutong grinned. Lin Yan sighed heavily when she heard Pei Yutong. Money isn't important. I'm worried about your big brother. I'm your big brother's girlfriend, so I can't help him. No way. The corners of Pei Yutong's mouth twitched when he heard Lin Yan. If he had cash, Lin Yan wouldn't have said that. Did she think that he would go back on his word? Pei Yutong gritted his teeth, looking furious. How had she known that he was going to go back on his word? After she returned to her room, Lin Yan scrolled through her phone excitedly. She wanted to see if there was any gossip about her. She would feel uncomfortable if she didn't get some news about herself. Indeed, she was at the top of the trending list again. The title was eye-catching. It was about Lin Shuya and Lin Yan. Lin Yan was engrossed in the content. Lin Shuya was beautiful and kind, while Lin Yan was an ingrate who was scheming and scheming. She wanted to snatch away everything that belonged to her sister. The main point of the article was about Yeva's role in legend. The gist of the article was that Lin Shuya had been cast as Yeva. However, Lin Yan had resorted to all sorts of tricks and schemes. In the end, Lin Shuya had relented and given up the role to Lin Yan. Such an article couldn't withstand any scrutiny. However, most netizens instinctively chose to believe it when it was published. They didn't even have the ability to think for themselves. Lin Yan couldn't help but chuckle as she read the angry curses and insults. The picky lion replied, Lin Yan is worse than a beast. If Lin Shuya hadn't brought her into the entertainment industry, who knows what kind of person she would be. She is an ungrateful wretch who only knows how to steal her own sister's heart. She is worse than a beast. Old Wang chimed in, haha. There are too many people like Lin Yan in real life. It's not strange at all. She's useless and can't bear to see the people around her doing well, especially her own sister. She's thousands of times more outstanding than she is. She can only blame Lin Shuya for being too kind. My home is Zuan, idiots. These are clearly articles that are meant to stir up the mood of the audience. Don't you have any brains? Don't you have the ability to think? Do you think that Legend of Mir is some small production? It was an international production with a huge cast and crew. Even Pei Nanshu wouldn't be a threat to them, much less someone like Lin Shuya. Yeva was the soul of a legend. How could Lin Shuya give her up so easily? If Lin Shuya really told the production crew to give up the role, Lin Shuya and Lin Shuya would be fired. The piano artist typed, the commenter above is Lin Yan's army. Don't hog all the money for yourself. Add me into the group and we can earn money together. My keyboard is my home. The commenter above is Lin Yan's army? Given Lin Shuya's status, even the production crew has to show her some respect. Otherwise, how could Lin Yan have gotten into the production crew? How could she have gotten the role that belonged to Lin Shuya? Chapter 593. After browsing through the comments, Lin Yan used her alternate account to leave a message. Lin Yan is the best. All the best, Lin Yan. Lin Yan closed the post after leaving her comment. Lin Yan was already used to this kind of talk and rhythm. She hoped that one day the netizens wouldn't criticize her in the same way. Instead, they would scold her in a different way. For example, don't you just have some money? What's so great about that? As for Lin Shuya, she wisely chose to remain silent in the face of such a torrent of comments. This was within Lin Yan's expectations. However, if someone posted the conversation between Yeva and the legendary director, Lin Yan didn't think too much about it. After resting for a while, she drove to the He family's training ground. The He family team had been training hard for the past few days. The competition was about to begin, so Mo Shuyun had been on high alert. He didn't dare to slack off. If he didn't win this battle, the He family team might cease to exist. Due to the restructuring of the team, The He family team might have to choose a new team name. Everything would have to be discussed after the competition was over. Lin Yin had been visiting the He family team whenever she had time. Mo Shuyun's training style wasn't bad, so she didn't interfere. She merely cheered him on and gave him some advice. That afternoon, Lin Yin was wearing a straw hat as she stared solemnly at the training ground. She had to admit that Mo Shuyun's training was effective. It was much better than the first day she had been at the training ground. Soon her phone rang. She had received a message. Xiao typed, "Are you free?" Misty City amid the setting sun typed, "Boss, what's wrong? Do you have a task?" Xiao typed, "I'll send you the location. I'm going." Misty City amid the setting sun typed, "Got it? I'll go now." She wasn't needed at the training ground, so she bade Mo Shuyun farewell and left in Zhao Hongling's car. Lin Yin finally arrived at her destination an hour and a half later. After parking the car, Lin Yin followed the GPS and walked to a building. Virtual reality game development company. Lin Yin stared at the huge billboard in bewilderment. Had she gotten the address wrong? Lin Yin checked the address and confirmed it. This was the place. Xiao said, "Top floor." Lin Yin was astonished when she read the message. Was this really the place? So, that man is also working for this so-called virtual reality game company? However, Lin Yin couldn't understand why such a huge company didn't have a translator. Spending so much money to hire a dabbler like him, with many questions in her mind, Lin Yin entered the elevator and headed to the top floor. Lin Yin had thought that such a big company would have luxurious decorations. However, when she reached the top floor, she realized that she had been wrong. This didn't look like a company at all. She couldn't see anyone at all. There were many tables, chairs, and sofas. There were also some office computers. The huge space looked a little empty. She pushed the glass door open and saw the man sitting on the couch, deep in thought. "He's here." Lin Yin had just pushed the door open when the man's voice rang out. "Boss, I'm here." Lin Yin strode over to the man. "Familiarize yourself with this place. This is our company." The man opened his eyes, revealing a mysterious look in his green eyes. Lin Yin was speechless. Was there a need to get used to this? Chapter 594. Although she couldn't see the end of it, there were tables and chairs everywhere. "Boss, where are the other colleagues?" asked Lin Yin curiously. "You're the only one," replied the man. Lin Yin stood rooted to the ground in shock. So there were only the two of them in this huge company? And she was the only employee? Lin Yin felt that she needed some time to calm down. She was supposed to be a translator, but this company didn't have any staff related to games. "We just bought the building. It's a new company." The man seemed to have read Lin Yan's mind as he answered softly. Lin Yan was speechless. Now Lin Yan was certain that this man was indeed a tycoon. He didn't even have any employees, yet he had bought the building and opened a virtual reality company. "Boss, what does our company do?" Lin Yan glanced at the man awkwardly. "Games," replied the man. "What about games?" Lin Yan was curious. "Not yet," replied the man. Lin Yan was speechless. "Boss, you're amazing." "Boss, I'm supposed to be a translator, right?" "I don't know how to make games," replied Lin Yan. "Do you know how to play games?" The man glanced at Lin Yan. Lin Yan perked up instantly. "Boss, no matter what game it is, I can master it in 3 days and master it in a week. I'm the king in half a month." "That's good. Even a translator has to know how to play games," replied the man. Lin Yan replied confidently, "Boss, don't worry. I can make playing games my main job." "Boss, where's the game? Do you want to try it now?" The man replied softly, "Nope." Lin Yan was speechless. "Have you eaten?" The man glanced at Lin Yan. "No." Lin Yan instinctively shook her head. "Let's sign the contract first before we eat," said the man. Lin Yan was curious. There were only the two of them in the company. Who would be the one cooking? After signing the contract, the man led Lin Yan to the underground garage. "Get in." The man opened the door. When Lin Yan got in the car, the man stepped on the accelerator. Lin Yan could feel the car shaking violently. Fortunately, she had put on her seatbelt. Otherwise, she would have been flung out of the car. "How was my start?" asked the man. Lin Yan was speechless. She wanted to get out of the car. "Boss, you're not bad. You have a strong start. If only I had such driving skills." Lin Yan said something that went against her heart after a moment of silence. "If you had such driving skills, you wouldn't have hit my car last time," the man said expressionlessly. Lin Yan was speechless. Where was her 40-meter sword? "Yes, boss. I will work hard to learn from you." The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. After driving out of the garage, the man actually turned on the car's navigation. The destination was an extremely large hotel. Where was the promised work meal? Why was it a high-class hotel restaurant? Could it be that working in such a rich company, the staff meals were all so luxurious? The blind map is providing you with continuous navigation. The speed limit is 70. The current speed is 70. Please turn right. Lin Yen stared blankly at the man as he turned the steering wheel. She could swear to God that the man was steering to the left. Boss, it's the right one. Lin Yen couldn't help but remind him. The man was slightly puzzled. Isn't this the right one? Lin Yen was speechless. Not only did this man's driving skills suck, but he also couldn't tell the difference between left and right. Chapter 595. Lin Yen, who was sitting in the passenger seat, had a conflicted expression on her face. Lin Yen suddenly realized that she had been wrong. She couldn't even tell the directions. She started to miss He Lufeng. In comparison, He Lufeng's brilliance and beauty were accentuated. The man had completely deviated from the directions of the GPS. About 15 minutes later, the man surveyed his surroundings suspiciously. The man's eyes landed on Lin Yen as he asked softly, "Where are we?" Lin Yen glanced at the man speechlessly. How could he be so thick-skinned as to ask her this question? Wasn't he the one who had taken her to the staff's meal? Bay City, Lin Yen finally replied. The man was silent as he parked the car beside a restaurant. This is the place. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. He had driven the wrong car. Had he made a mistake? The destination had been in Nan City, but he had driven to Bay City instead. How could he say that this was the place? Hence, the man in front of her was terrible at driving and couldn't tell the difference between left and right. He also had a poor sense of direction. Even so, the man had a strange sense of pride and couldn't tolerate others doubting him. After they entered the restaurant, the man led Lin Yen to an elegant private room. "Boss, didn't you say that we were having a staff meal?" Lin Yen glanced at the man curiously. "It's the same," replied the man. Lin Yen was speechless. "Oh yeah, boss. What does our company do?" Lin Yen hurriedly changed the topic. "Games." The man stared at Lin Yen for a long time before he answered. For some reason, Lin Yen doubted the man's words. No matter how she looked at him, he didn't seem like a gamer. Most importantly, it was a gaming company, but the company didn't have any games. She couldn't even see a single person. "Holographic and virtual reality," the man replied softly. Lin Yen was startled by the man's words. Holographic games? Was this for real? Was he joking? Lin Yen had always been interested in holographic games. She had dreamed that one day she would be able to enter the game world and take a look at it. When she had been overseas, she vaguely remembered playing a holographic game. However, she couldn't tell if it was a dream or reality. The man's head was lowered as he ate, as though he had no intention of responding to Lin Yen. After some time, the man put down his chopsticks and gazed at Lin Yen with his emerald eyes. "Are you interested in virtual reality games?" Lin Yen nodded eagerly. "Of course I'm interested. Who wouldn't be?" Before the man could say anything else, the dishes had already been served. Lin Yen stared blankly at the table of king crabs. "Hi, the dishes are ready. Is there anything else you need?" The waitress smiled at the man and Lin Yen. "That's all," the man said. Lin Yen was speechless. Why was everything about crabs? "Boss, I want some rice." Lin Yen glanced at the man. "Give her a bowl of rice," the man said. Soon the waiter brought a bowl of rice over. Lin Yen was speechless. Was he a straight man? She wanted to eat rice, but he only asked the waiter to serve a bowl of rice? "Let's eat," the man said when he noticed that Lin Yen hadn't started eating. Lin Yen was speechless. Chapter 596. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ocean, a man was sitting at his desk in his spacious office, studying a stack of documents with a cold expression on his face. "President Pei, the meeting will be at 5 p.m., Cheng Mo lowered his eyes and spoke. "Okay." Pei Yuqing didn't even lift his head as he tapped his fingers rhythmically on the desk. After his subordinate left, Pei Yuqing placed the documents on the desk and sent a text to Lin Yen. "What are you doing?" However, after sending the message, he waited for a long time, but did not receive a reply. The man frowned and put his phone away. A second later, a familiar sense of dizziness swept over him. In the restaurant, Lin Yen studied the bowl of fragrant white rice before her and the king crabs on the table. Suddenly, she felt that eating crabs wasn't a bad idea. was expensive. Lin Yan ignored the rice and grabbed a crab in front of the man. Before Lin Yan could continue, her body froze. That familiar sense of rejection surged again. F***C. It can't be. Lin Yan panicked inexplicably. Was that thing here again? But why would it appear now? What frightened Lin Yan the most was that she was having a meal with her boss. Besides, her boss was definitely a feast for the eyes. Would that lecher do anything to her? Would the boss fire her for being harassed by her? However, before Lin Yan could think further, she felt drowsy. After some time, Lin Yan opened her eyes. The eyes of the girl were filled with coldness. She was like a completely different person from before. The man next to her instantly attracted Lin Yan's attention. Lin Yan surveyed her surroundings and realized that she was in a private room in a restaurant. There was only her and the man with green eyes. Lin Yan glanced at the man and her eyes turned cold. It was as though the temperature in the room had dropped abruptly. You don't look friendly. The man seemed to sense something different about the girl. He picked up a piece of tissue and wiped his hands casually as he gazed at Lin Yan with his green eyes. Really? Lin Yan replied coldly. I don't like it, replied the man. Is it important whether you like it or not? Lin Yan's voice was unusually cold. The man sized up Lin Yan with great interest. There was an obvious change in her mannerisms and aura. It was as though she was a completely different person. Besides, the man could sense Lin Yan's disdain for him. I'm very curious. Why are you hostile to me? Shouldn't employees respect their boss? The man said lightly. Boss? Something flickered in Lin Yan's eyes when the man spoke. He didn't know who the man was or why he had addressed Lin Yan as his employee. Have you finished eating? Let's go back to work. The man stood up. Sure. Lin Yan replied nonchalantly, her expression indifferent. The man and Lin Yan walked out of the restaurant. The man opened the door and got in. Then he turned to Lin Yan and hissed, Are you waiting for me to open the door for you? Lin Yan didn't say anything else. She opened the door and got in. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.